And we're Rick. Welcome to the Selectmen meeting.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
We'll open this meeting of September 4th. Wow, September already.
Yeah, go figure.
It's 4:30. Let the record show Selectman Scanlon is on his way. So he will be present at some point. And first on our list is Lauren with the MS1.
I'll put the MS1 in your folder already. I'm turning over the job. It's kind of been in dribs and drabs. I brought the cards probably a month ago, and then I still had a few things that I had to finalize, particularly utility properties, and there were a few commercial properties. So I had Amy actually work with Tim to get the data back, and that's been back, I don't know, about a week or so. And now I'm delivering the manual with it, so it all came in little pieces. But I ran the MS1 today for you. Values, I think when I originally started, we were looking at total valuation being down closer to 10%. We ended up, after all was said and done, total value of the town is down about 3.7%, so just under 4% that we're down totally. No other real big changes. Hearings were very quiet for the update. We had 1 day of hearings here. We saw very few people. We heard very little feedback from this update. It went very smoothly. We changed the way we did the River Road leases. Short of that, we really didn't have, anything big that I can think of that we changed. Like I said, we did see some commercial property values come up a little bit, and I entered 2 months of sales today, and I'm already seeing things start to turn around. So we were aiming for 100% on April 1st, and with these new sales, we're already looking like we're going to be under 100% for 4/1/14. Which is a good thing, I guess. Just when we shoot for April 1st and we're finalizing, and you still have a few months of sales that occur, it's an ever-changing market, so we're right now hovering around 98% of market value. We'll see. We still have sales through September. The state uses 6 months before April 1st and 6 months after April 1st to come up with that ratio, so we'll see what we come up with this last month as well before we have a final result. But at the time of this printing, we were at 100%. But yeah, it's already starting to appreciate a little bit, so it's a good thing.
Are these 5 copies? Or?
Well, no, you have the MS1 there, and then you have the Tilton Northfield Fire District, Tilton Northfield Water District,
and then Lockmere World Water. Okay, I see.
So the 3 districts, Joyce's name is on there as preparer, even though I prepared it for you. When you enter everything in the system, it jots out with your name. So you'll have to sign all the districts.
And I'll be the one sending it.
Yep. And you'll be the districts just get signed by the preparer. The selectman doesn't need to sign that. The selectmen sign the whole town one where I stuck the sticky in there. Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. My quick update, but
Well, one good thing too is Scott Davis had contacted me a while ago. Did we do that? Enter those properties? He
Yes.
gave me a list of new properties that are part of the water district.
Yep.
So we entered those. So I'll print out this, a detail of this report
Correct.
for him, and then they can update their records to make sure that
we have the same
we have the
information.
same information. Which that's something we've been trying to communicate here for years.
Well, it's same kind of correlation, but with sewer. Dari mentioned today, because you know how we have the zones broken down by sewer. That was just really where the sewer lines were available, not necessarily everybody in that district was on sewer, because before they used to have the betterment for the different sewer connections. He was looking for some information to see if we could try to integrate that data so that he could use the assessing system to see if somebody is on sewer or septic. So,
Oh, we could get that list from Joanna.
Joanna.
Because I've already done, the village did, the betterment districts are all in there, so we just.
But that didn't mean that individual people were necessarily on the sewer, just
Hooked
that it
up.
was available to them.
She means hooked up.
Right.
It might be available, but then it may not all of them be hooked up.
But she would know that because they get a bill if they're hooked up, so we could probably
add
identify.
a code for that.
Yeah. And just make it a little bit more useful. You know, he's looking at that as his land use kind of planning.
Yeah.
If it's all in there, it just makes it a more useful tool, so I said I didn't see why, but we'd get that information from Joanna and we'd be able to do that.
And I think communication is much better between the land use office and the
Yay.
so that's good.
So I've got the whole big book again that goes in an office that nobody looks at, but
Sometimes I do.
good.
Do you have any new view pictures?
There's new view pictures in here, new waterfront picture. Well, some of them might be the old picture if it was still representative. And just like we did last time, the manual's in a PDF format, so I know Tim put it up last time, takes up a lot of space, because this one's probably smaller than the last one, but you put it on your town website last time, and I think it allows people that can't get in here during the day, that want to understand or look at sales, or it's available
We'll
then.
figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean, he complained last time it was so big, but it's there. He's gonna hear me now, I forgot I'm on camera.
Yeah, he will.
You don't have a digital copy of this?
Yeah, it's on this as well. Yep, and if I go all the way to the back, it's there. So there's a PDF of it, which is nice, because then you can
great,
zoom
yeah.
in on the different sections. It's kind of small as it prints in here, so we give you the big one. It's in here as well, with all the sales highlighted on there and all the neighborhoods. So yeah, it's a lot of,
Yeah, we never have anybody coming in looking, realtors looking at sales data, because
it's all online. Yeah, it stops a lot of the foot traffic and helps taxpayers. I mean, everybody works, you know, who has time to come in between, 8:30 and 4:15, and it's difficult to get that stuff, so the fact that you have a website that has so much information on it, I think helps taxpayers, you know, look at it 10 o'clock at night. I know I've looked up stuff on your website at night at home, and so it's helpful.
It's
Yeah.
my homepage on my desktop.
Is it?
So do you see the trend going in sales going up, or that you do?
Yeah, and actually, I just got an email from the listserv of assessors statewide that they've noticed the last few months of the year, they've largely all have seen sales starting to increase again, which is good. And a lot of it's just supply and demand. There's not as many foreclosures, short sales on the market anymore. So the sales that are out there are now arm's length transactions, which that alone is going to start bringing up prices, because there's no competition with those low-end foreclosures or short sales, and interest rates are still really low. So
I still
help
see a
boost.
lot of houses for sale,
yeah,
lot of houses.
Especially in Belmont. There's a ton of houses in Belmont for
yeah,
sale.
and it's not.
There's no new construction, though. You don't see much new construction?
It depends on where you are. And I mean, a lot of it really is just geographically where you are. Auburn, New Hampshire, for example, I think we picked up 50 new houses this year, which is almost unheard of in this, in this market.
Are they
And
in
they're
like
not,
one big development?
several new subdivisions, and they're not spec homes. They're being built with a buyer already,
Custom built.
Yep. So, $500,000-$600,000 houses, and they're all spoken for. So, we're seeing pockets of new construction. We didn't really have a tremendous amount of new construction here this year. A fair amount, but not really a lot of new homes. But we really don't have any subdivision, big tracts of land anymore that are being subdivided with, 50 homes. So they still had some big tracts of land that have now got subdivided and are being built on. So that's just supply and demand, but starting to see prices come around, It's a good area. Al's thinking, yeah, let's put it on the market. Never know.
Has to happen sometime.
Yeah.
So can you just give us a little summary of where we are with abatement issues?
Well, abatements are done. Appeal deadline for 2013 was September 1st. So we won't get the full, we still could get those trickling in from both Superior Court and BTLA, because it takes them...
Two, one for Superior Court, for bad debt, and then proxy filed for 2013. So
Yeah.
we just have two there.
Let me look at my list, I'll tell you what I have to date so far. Because we still have some outstanding.
This will help us plan for budget.
We're scheduled for trial,
It depends on who does it for budgeting.
so we're scheduled, I have some pending appeals right now. October, I'm scheduled to be at Superior Court on the 822 Laconia Road property, which I need to touch base with John Radigan on because that's coming up pretty quickly. I have 2 appeals scheduled for hearing in November. The Embry properties, those are going to BTLA in November.
They haven't gone already yet?
Nope.
Wow.
We have 2012 and 2013 on MC&G. We have, and those are both at BTLA now. And then we have the Gaudette property for 2012 and 2013 now at Superior Court.
When will the 2012
Right now, I'm trying to think where we are with that. I don't have that one scheduled yet. I haven't heard. But that will be coming down the pike pretty quick, because I don't think, right now on my outstanding list for all the towns we do, all 10 and 11 cases have been heard, and they're scheduling, did I say 10 and 11? All 2012 cases right now are being scheduled. So, like Embry is a 12 case. So we should be hearing something for scheduling on MC&G shortly. On that, well, I'm in public, I can't really talk about that, I guess, specifically. We also have another BTLA for 2013 on the Hampton Inn. And I'm scheduled, our mediation is due like November, and I'm scheduled to do a phone conference with them tomorrow on that property.
And then, of course, Fairpoint is still out there.
Fairpoint is still out there.
But you said today that Concord
Prevailed
at Superior Court, Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. They appealed their, Superior Court had ruled in the favor of Fairpoint on the unequal taxation. Judge McNamara had ruled in favor of Fairpoint. The city of Concord appealed that to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court now vacated that order and remanded it back to Superior Court. So that was, kind of shifted the ball from out of Fairpoint's hands, so to speak. So it was a win for the towns in that.
Yeah.
But
But we, remember we waited and we went ahead and changed we had our hearings and we're all in compliance, so. but
amended the
it's-
poll licenses.
yeah,
Now we're
which
just
we
all...
needed to do that anyway.
Right.
so.
And that's, everyone is still kind of getting on board with that. I don't know that everybody's done it yet, but most of the towns we work in have now gone through the process to amend their poll licenses and update their petitions and make sure everything is in order, so that when the dust settles, we can tax everybody that needs to be taxed.
And the Fairpoint one, I think, is that's, we're using Brannigan on that one tonight. But he's
Is
His law
Radigan
firm.
doing it on that?
on Fairpoint.
On Fairpoint he
Filed
is.
the appearance for us.
Okay. I don't know if he's spoken with Gary on that.
I should follow up with him anyways.
Because
now
we-
that it's
we,
Supreme Court
um,
decision.
We had a lot of our clients looking to go, so we were working with Rob Upton and Matt Surge on that. So most of our assessing clients are with Matt and Rob on that. And they are one of the liaison counsel that was appointed by McNamara because there was just too many attorneys involved.
Right.
So they're the liaison right now.
Well, that's good, and now since the values are down, we shouldn't have many appeals like we did for 2009, right?
I don't know that that will dictate. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, I just don't find that whether the value is up or down is the mechanism that people use to most of the time they wait until they get their tax bill and then determine, even though that's not the basis for an appeal or an abatement, that's typically the mechanism that gets it started. So I guess it depends on where we end up with our tax rate. And,
Well, once I'll transmit this tomorrow, we still need the EMS 4, which is the revenue form that Tim does. That's due October 1st. And also the MS 5, which is the financial statements,
When is that due?
as soon as our audit's done. I'm sure we can prepare it now, what they have to do on this account. And then once those two things are sent to DRA, then if everybody else has their stuff in, then
The
we won't be
districts.
holding anybody up for a tax rate.
school.
So it's our cycles, I think we're getting much better.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, absolutely. I think when we started, it was what, 2006? I think that was, the town wasn't accustomed to having bills out by Christmas. You know, they were always kind of rolling over. The tax rate was getting set late, bills were going out late. You know, for the past few years, it's really been going out, everything's been going out on time and in accordance with what was set up for
Really killing the
semi-annual.
Christmas spirit.
Well, we don't,
Hey, that's what the legislative body voted for.
right,
Aye.
it's semi-annual billing, it's not a town decision, state decision, nice try. Yep.
I have a question for you. Does Tilton have an inordinately large amount of non-taxable property and buildings? I don't know if you compare the per capita, per total value, or what, but it just seems like, I mean, it's 52 million if you combine the two. And for a town this small, it just seems like a lot. I
A
mean,
lot of
certainly-
acreage in current use,
Got the-
too.
Right.
Yeah, but this is non-taxable. This is like the veterans' home, the Tilton
about
School, the
10%.
municipal
The
schools,
schools.
the state.
Right. it's about
Property. But
Oh,
it just-
10%.
I'm just wondering if
So I
that's
don't know that that's,
a lot for
I
a
live in
town.
Concord, so I mean, trying to
It shouldn't be-
compare
it shouldn't be
that,
taxed.
probably half of the city of
school.
Concord
Yeah,
is
that's not-
exempt, so, from what I see town to town, I don't, it
No, I mean
it
for
doesn't
the-
strike me as being
For
more
the
than.
size of the town.
Right, it
It's only-
doesn't strike me as being more than what I see in the rest of the towns.
So
the
it's
size
not,
I do.
it doesn't stand out to you?
No.
Okay.
Did
That's
our
good enough.
elderlies go up?
Down.
They went down?
Yes, because there was remember, there were a few that weren't qualified.
Some of them don't qualify now.
They just missed the qualification by,
Oh,
right.
Well, and unfortunately, the ones that are in the 80-plus category, we lose some of those on an annual basis as well. So I think we had a total of 60 on the program last year for elderly, and I think we're down to
48.
48. Oh.
Yep. Pass that down to John.
Some were just through the requalification process too, though, for assessment review. We had some that applied that didn't qualify, but we had a handful that actually called and said, I got an inheritance, I don't qualify, I'm getting another job, or, so there were some, because of that, once every 5 year, we're mandated to update those records. You could do it every year if you wanted to. It becomes overly burdensome as far as the clerical part of maintaining that. Merrimack, I do assessing, and they have almost 11,000 parcels down there, and they update their elderly annually. And there's a lot that come off every year for different reasons. They got an inheritance, they got a life insurance policy, something's changed. I mean, 5 years is a long time to go without qualifying that. Annually, it's a lot of work if you're to take it on every year, because it takes a good 6 months and notice and second notice to actually get all of the information that's needed, so it takes you half the year to get it, but, so we may want to consider, instead of waiting the 5 years, maybe not annually, but maybe
Halfway in between.
every couple of years to try to get, keep up with it and make sure that it is up to date, because it does affect your, tax burden on the total town.
Right.
Yeah, we should analyze that data definitely before the end of the year, so that we can have that in an article ready.
We want to try to be able to incorporate the seniors that missed it by a few dollars and incorporate those into the loop. Otherwise, they're going to be on the other side of the house, and that's more expensive to do that way. So if we have go to the legislative body and just say, can you move up the income bracket slightly higher? I mean,
It's just fear of the unknown, because you don't know.
that's right, it is.
You know the ones that have come in that are just over, but how many didn't come in because they knew they were over, and now
Right.
you raise that threshold, you just don't know. I mean, I'm always asked to analyze what that burden's going to be, and you just don't know how many it's going to
Well,
open that up to.
That's what we like to do, is try to
Baby steps, yeah, you don't want
take a
to
look
take
at,
it to,
not increase it so that it's, thousands of dollars, so that now all of a sudden we have a burden of 50 more people, but just, 1,000 or 2,000, where it would take that gap of where people have fallen through. Because right now, predominantly, the ones that have been denied have been under that $1,000 mark, that they've been denied on the income portion of it.
Aren't some of them in manufactured housing?
yes.
Which is lower.
Yes.
That's lower anyway.
Right, so
What
it's,
is the income threshold?
is it 30?
24 for single and 32 for married.
$32,000 is almost not enough to keep a house going
When you were doing
for two people.
Social Security just got an increase.
Council security.
Because
Absolutely, that's their income. Yep.
You might want to gauge it by some of that, too, because they got the increase to cover their living expenses.
Well,
Take that away from them.
the difficult thing also with
Usually
Social
what happens,
Security is
though.
that we're looking at the total amount of Social Security. So if you're, for example, your Social Security went up and you're getting $20,000 a year for a round number, your Medicare cost also went up, and you can't deduct expenses for qualifying. So even though you got a raise to cover the living and your Medicare went up, they're not really seeing any more money necessarily.
Right.
And
Yeah,
we
that's what I
can't
mean.
look at
Going
that,
that way.
right, we can't look at the Medicare expense.
Right, so they're-
We're just looking at
they
the
could be
total
putting
income.
more out.
Right, so it's not necessarily that they're getting more money, but it's putting them over now because their income went up.
Right.
And that's what raised it. Portion of
Cover
Social
that.
Security.
When you have to deny them because they're, $20 over, or they're, $121 over, it's really,
Except if you raise it up by 1,000, then you have a new group that's 121 over.
That's entirely
It
possible.
is,
Might be a
We gauge it by.
thing that
Social
just keeps on
Security.
going and going and going.
Well, keep more of
But
it.
I don't know that,
Right.
but you figure that you haven't done this in, 8 years?
Yeah.
Hasn't
Did you
been
check
done-
when it was last done? I mean, since I've been here in
thought you checked it.
2006, I know there hasn't been a change to it
Right,
since
I
I've been
thought
here.
it's been since 2006, a minimum of 2006 since it has
Right.
been
Can we
I don't
find
done.
out what the surrounding,
Oh, yeah, it's all online.
the
It's all on the
prevailing-
area website.
yeah.
Yeah, it's real easy to.
What the
So we should
increase is-
start researching that now so that we have the data. I mean,
Now we have value.
once we get the, right, and once we get the data, we may not want to go forward with it. We may.
absolutely.
I'd like to see what the increases
Right.
of Social Security have been over the years, so that they get to keep more of that Social Security that they got to cover the expenses that raised.
With the increase on the Medicare.
They want to take all their, and the Medicare.
All right,
We've got, look at Social Security, we've got our new values, we've got our data, and
DRA, I think, online
Yeah.
publishes
Yeah.
what the exemption limits are, income assets through the entire state, so you can, highlight some of the surrounding communities, see what's similar as far as, per capita income maybe, or,
that's another good one, too.
yeah, so, I mean, comparing Tilton to a Merrimack, for example, would be, apples to oranges. It's not a good comparison. Maybe even the average or median value of a home would give you some indication of,
And age.
yep.
I mean, you can get that on the state office planning website, they can break it down by categories, age
Yep.
group, so you have communities that's mostly elderly people, there's
Right, and we do have a few manufactured housing parks, which tends to be geared towards the elderly residents. You know, worth a start there to try to at least compare, see where you are. I mean, you're above the state minimum, because that's still in place. The state minimum is single, 18,400, and married, 20,400. And if you could live as a married couple off 20,400,
You're doing good.
That's a big garden and lots of wood.
yeah, that's a
In a
tough
hovel.
one. That's a tough one, yeah.
Edge of disaster.
Let me just take a peek, because I had a little cheat sheet that I put notes on. And some of it I was going to talk about, but it really, because it's pending litigation, really shouldn't be and it's nothing, I don't think that we need to. Because that would have to be.
Heard anything back from those current use orders we sent out?
None of them?
They were fine.
So Lionel, has he come in to do your review of that stuff yet? And not one person responded? How many
These are
went out?
recent current use letters?
No, these are the same people that didn't do it in 2009.
I sent
Just
mine in.
updating their map.
I updated mine.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Right,
How long do
what
these get
happened
sent
is
out?
we had, for assessment review last time, 5 years ago, you tried to get all those updated, letters went out trying to get them updated 5 years ago. So this time it was really just targeted at those that hadn't replied last time. But there's no mechanism in the statute, unfortunately. You know, if they were approved 20 years ago, they still qualify. You can't take it away. You can't, there's no mechanism to force them to get that records
update it?
updated. Yeah, so it's like pulling teeth, but those were the people 5 years ago that didn't respond, and now they didn't respond again. I can't believe not one.
So at some point Lionel's going to give the board a report on our.
Yeah, you might feel current
Our
use.
update, our cyclical update.
Yes, that won't come until spring of next year. The portion of the assessment review requires an analysis of the sales and the statistical components. It has to be, the COD has to be within certain parameters, the PRD, the median ratio. So they wait until the state finishes the equalization for the year, and that usually gets published sometime in March-ish. So he won't be able to finalize his assessment review until that's done. So you're going to get a report for how you were in 2014, but it's going to be halfway through 2015 before you get it. So if it was bad, you're not going to know for a while.
Okay.
It's not going to be bad, but the current use may be the only issue when you look at what you have to meet for standards. They do a random selection of it. They don't check every property. So they'll do a random selection, and hopefully they don't pick all the ones that didn't respond. Because by and large, the records are in good shape, the ones that are there. Very complete files, all in order. And on the ones that didn't reply, there will be a letter that you tried to do it 5 years ago. There's the other letter so it's going to show that the town has been taking the initiative to try to update it. And that's really, at the end of the day, all
Are
you
the
can do.
letters being sent by registered mail so that we know they received them?
I don't know that.
I don't believe so. We get a tax bill.
How many went out?
But talking about the current use,
Yeah.
just 5.
Oh, just 5? Oh, you'll be fine. Out of all those current use files, only 5? Yeah, you'll be fine. Because he'll do a random selection, unless he actually randomly chose those 5. You'll be fine with that, too. But we'll have to continually just keep trying to update those.
And did the current use values change at all? Did those get entered? Yeah, so our values for the range, think the current use values go up or down?
It was a mix. It was a mix of changes. I think we had those in for your first tax bill.
Okay. And then you have to enter the equalization ratio?
Well, we're estimated to be at 100%, so that's what we go with for, because we won't find out the actual ratio until next year. But yeah, by and large, in good shape and pretty quiet, actually. Like I said, considering very little feedback.
When does the manual get updated?
That's this right here.
So that's all updated?
It's all updated. This is a whole brand new one. You have your old one, and any changes will be documented in here. As I was saying earlier, there's also the PDF on a
that's the
CD
next
so
question,
that
right?
so that
For
Tim can get it up on the website. Yep,
Saves a lot of.
it really does. And then everybody can.
Because you have it.
Yep. Yep. So it'll be all up there. Everyone can review it, and it'll sit downstairs collecting dust for the most part, but there, you know, the filler is essentially the same. I mean, there's a few new features to the system that are noted in there, but by and large, nothing really different from last time to this time. So it would just be, you know, all the specific stuff for this time, the sales or...
You haven't signed this.
I don't actually have to sign it. It's just, I know it says assessor, but that's if you have an assessor that is the official.
The one that does it.
Yeah.
Right, and so
It's
this-
selectman/assessor, so.
Yeah, this
it's you.
is, we keep this,
That actually has to get submitted. The signature page has to get submitted.
okay,
It's saying to mail it hard copy, and you can check with Natalie at Equalization if that can be submitted electronically, if you can scan and submit it electronically. I'm not sure why you couldn't.
now, so you don't sign as assessor signature because the selectmen have
Because the
signed.
selectmen are signing, yes.
All right,
And then you sign each one at the end, so each district and the, as
Yeah.
preparer, and then, and that can get submitted. You have them all.
All right. Any other questions? Nope. Thank you, Lauren. I
You know how to
appreciate
reach me if you do.
Uh-huh, we do.
All right, do you want me to bring this down, or you want to,
oh,
you'll take care of that?
take care of it, make sure that this gets to Tim.
Perfect.
And I think with this, we glued onto a board
Yep, the old one's down there?
down there, and I'll just put this on it so people can have that. I think I even made a paper copy of this to leave one out there, and then this stays in the selectmen's.
It's probably a good idea, because I know some towns have left it out and then pages get,
Yeah.
And then
So we get legs.
they get.
Or the whole thing walks away, maybe.
I do have it electronically, you have it electronically, we could reproduce it if we need to for you, so we do have it all.
And we still have the vision one from, 2005.
Yeah, you probably don't need that one anymore, but,
It's an interesting comparison, though.
yeah, yep.
I have an assessment book from I'm looking at my desk, but 1910.
Really?
It's old.
Yeah?
Every once in a while, I look up my property and I was like,
1910, yeah.
Yeah, Merrimack still has some of their old valuation books where they counted farm animals.
pigs, chickens,
Pigs,
cows,
horses. Yeah,
horses.
it's pretty interesting to see it back in the
Yeah.
1800s, so. All right.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, thank you.
Call me, email me.
Okay, next on our list is Benjamin Sandry. Is that you? Come,
Professional garb. Just came straight from our presentation.
not a problem.
Almost
We're
look
pretty
alike here.
laid-back group here, so you're from the Tilton School, and we read an email, but we asked for you to come in because we were unsure of the dynamics and what was going on. We had a lot of questions, so, okay. Tell us what your project is and what it's about and what you want to do.
So this is entirely based on whether or not the students choose, whether or not they elect to do this project. So they have a number of options. This is one of them. They'll be taught basic masonry skills, basic dry masonry skills, and then based on that, they will be designing a sculpture of some kind. Thank you. They'll be designing a sculpture of some kind, and they will be working together with which of the students manages to produce the sculpture that the group likes the best. They will be working together to build that person's design out of river rocks, if that is okayed here. And so it would probably be not over 4 feet in height, not over 10 feet in length, if they were to do it.
Now, where would this sculpture live after it's built?
So it would be directly out in one of the wider parts of the river. Any part where we would be able to build up where the river was less than 2 or 3 feet deep. So where we'd be able to build up a base underneath, it would probably get swept away based on the water, based on the water flow I've seen swept away within about a month.
That's sad.
That's part of the acknowledgement of the project. See it slowly degrade.
Oh, interesting.
So anywhere along the main river walk, so potentially near the island park, but
So you actually build it in the water, in the river, and you keep it there until it washes away? Wow.
It is the shallowest part of the river that flows through Tilton, is by that
Now,
island.
my understanding is the river belongs to the state. So I don't know if we can give them permission to build anything in the river.
They may require a dredge and fill permit, actually.
Well,
No, I don't think so.
Probably, I don't know.
It's one of those things that they might, a lot of times they'll say, okay, go ahead.
They're not removing and putting them away, they're rearranging the
Rearranging
rocks.
the ones that are already
Kids do
there.
that all the time.
Yeah.
Kids swim in the river, they do it all the time, it's not...
because it's through an organization, that's what it's through an organization, not just some kids going down playing in the river.
It might be a good idea to give them a call.
They own all the waterways. So we don't own the river at all.
Tilton Northfield owns the island
Well,
together, the town.
we own the island, but the island's in the town of Northfield.
Right.
Okay.
And I was going there. But we have to share responsibility, and so we couldn't give you permission to do that on the island. We'd have to jointly tell you, both towns say, you could do it, is what I'm trying to get at. But
where it's on the
it's a
river.
very interesting project. I like the project, and we can help you in any way we can with numbers and people to call it at DES or the state. It would just be the waterway people
It'd
in
be
the state.
DES.
So we get
I'm
them some
sitting here
numbers.
trying to remember the name of the woman. Remember the woman we talked to?
Yes,
Well, our person's always been Jennifer Marks.
That's it.
that's it.
But there's also the gentleman I spoke to that responded to my Hackerbrook Colin, somebody. I have his email. I can give you that.
I would like it. I'm all about sculptures, stone, whatever it is. I love that kind of stuff. But like I say, I don't see how I can give you permission to do something in property that I have no control over at all.
Is this year one of the major drawdown years?
October. It's usually right around the end of September, first part of October. Cold time to be in the water,
They draw down the river, though.
Real
It gets
low.
really, really low.
so people can do their projects.
They draw down Winnisquam, which
4 to 6 feet.
4 to 6 feet, yeah.
Silver Lake.
And which reduces Silver Lake, which reduces down here. Yep.
And like when they did the mill buildings down here by the park, he did all his footings. They drew it down far enough, and, so he could do all his footings in the river, rearrange rocks or whatever, so.
But the water on the east side of, this side of the island
It's low
Low,
anyway.
is low.
It's shallow anyway.
You can almost walk across.
So if you can do this with the river then, with the DES, then the only thing you would need permission from the selectmen would be to access the river from the island?
Yes.
Why?
Well, that's,
Well,
you know,
That's a given. They can go through that island. They
Public
don't
park.
Northfield
Public
and
park.
Tilton.
no,
It's a public park, isn't it?
need permission to go across it.
we can give him permission if he needs it. I
I'm just thinking-
have no problem with it at all. So how does the board feel about it?
I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
As long as you let us know when, so we can take a picture and watch it disintegrate.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. So just,
I'll email him my contacts at UES.
I think that if the two of you communicate and let us know what,
Joyce, by the way.
that Joyce is our town administrator, if you communicate together and let us know how the project is coming and if it's getting close to,
Whether or not it is going to be.
right, exactly, whether or not it's going to be, Joyce can get in touch with Northfield and just ask permission for access into that, and then it will be the done deal. We're all saying yes.
I am just because.
Right. We're all saying yes.
It's still a public place.
It is a public place, and I don't think you'll have any problems
No.
with it at all.
Are you one of the students, or are you an instructor?
I'm an instructor. I look like a student, but
You look like it's borderline. You could be one of
I've
them.
been teaching 10 years. I don't look like it.
No.
Well, you don't look like a professor, but he does
My
look
first year at Tilton.
like he's beyond
Now, do you know you do
student.
have a phone number?
I do know that now.
Oh, you
My
know that?
phone is very, very finicky, and it, just today, I'm, once again, went through the process of trying to set it up properly.
Okay.
It is not holding, it's a mobile phone that attaches to a landline, and it is not working properly. It's not holding charge even when it's sitting with
Because
chargers.
when I called Tilton School to get your phone number, so he has one. I think he knows about it. So-
It's all set up, but I'm reading for a phone that looks.
Okay. All right, I'll email you.
Yes, email works best.
All right.
Good. Thank
Can
you
we
very
answer
much.
any other questions, or is that it?
That's all I need to know.
Good. Well, let us know how the project, if it's going to take place or not, because we'd love to be over there to watch it. That'd be great.
Like dry stone masonry, you're familiar with that a lot?
Yes, I spent this last year building dry stone walls before I took a year off from teaching.
Yeah, take a look at the walls around the river.
There's a lot of beautiful.
Our river is, all those stones would just sit there, I guess you would call it dry, but they're wet.
Yeah.
The river has done a lot of damage to them, and they've fallen into the river. And in order to do it properly, we're looking at the major thing, setting footings and...
And that's a good point. Those granite slabs in the river are all part of the retaining wall that has just fallen in. So you can't use those rocks.
Stay away from those, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're prime rocks, Lord knows, but that's because they're
slabs of
supposed to be
granite.
part of the retaining wall.
I don't know. Originally, we were wondering if you were looking to go and do something for temporarily, maybe setting some of those rocks back into place.
We couldn't figure out the email, so that's what it was.
I've done that sort of thing for community service at other schools when I taught masonry courses. We did a lot of masonry in the community, but old retaining walls and things like that. But this is not a school where I can tell the students we're going to go out and we're going to use rock bars and we're going to do that for 2 weeks. So past school I could.
And they choose. Right.
Thanks.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
Thank
Good
you
luck
so
with
much.
your
I appreciate it.
project.
And thank you very much for all you do for the town.
Well,
Thank you.
thanks for coming in.
Okay, minutes.
I would like to make a motion to bring the minutes of July 24th, 2014 to the floor for discussion. Well, that's the one I've got.
I read it and I thought maybe it's because I lived it. I thought I'd already approved them. Why do I keep losing my pen?
Well, there's only
The only one I've got's the 24th.
There's only two in August.
2 in August, yeah. I just thought I had already approved them.
Is there a second?
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
think the first page, 5 sentences down into the Cannon Bridge project, it says, not be until the end of September that they would get then, even if they were awarded the bid. Shouldn't that be them with an M? Because they're referring to the expansion joints.
Where we've put DOT, it should be New Hampshire DOT, so it's our DOT we're referring to, not another state.
On page 3, where David Kraus talks about the property, it says in the second paragraph, based on the research from Mr. Kraus, the owner does own parcel 30. I think we should have some type of indication on who the owner is. I know it does say it on the
I could have his name.
down below where I said made a motion to redeem the 2 pieces of product back to Robert Stevenson. However, we should say, based on the research from Mr. Kraus, Robert Stevenson is the owner of parcel 30, or something like that.
Was it 2 pieces of property in question or 1?
1.
Because the motion is to redeem the 2 pieces of property back.
Said that, Catherine. I went back and listened, and
No, so Chair Constantino made a motion to redeem the 2 pieces of property back.
The deed has 2 tracts in it,
Right, but there was only
1 deed.
1 piece of property in question. It was the land is a separate parcel, and then the other parcel is the home. Is that correct? Or is it a parcel and then the right-of-way from Church Street to the parcel? Are those 2 separate pieces?
He found the deed, in the deed where the house is, there is language for another tract of land.
Okay,
So,
and that other tract of land includes the right-of-way to Church Street. So there's 2 parcels, the house property
yeah,
and the unknown property,
yes.
or previously unknown. So the motion should have been to redeem the 1 piece back. Okay.
so I'll change that.
Did everybody agree?
No, because he refers to the 2 tracts which encompass the current description of the Robinson property were separate parcels up till 1921, when they both came into ownership of this. Parcel 1 was acquired by this man, parcel 2 was acquired by, which was lot 30. So both,
That back section had a line drawn through it, didn't it?
see, this is,
It had been subdivided, I think.
We just, all we have to do is just redeem the tax deed. We're gonna remove the tax deed.
so we can just take out, we don't have to say redeem the 2 pieces of property.
Right.
We can just say the tax deed.
Yes,
Okay.
because he already has the deed description in his property.
Right.
And he's already being taxed for that.
And that's what he says here, too.
As long as the motion is correct.
Because,
I don't want to
see,
complicate it anymore.
he does this here, this is one lot, and then this is the back. And then
I've only talked to
this is the
his son
right-of-way.
because he won't be back from Canada until next month.
So this is the right-of-way here, and then it goes into this property.
Well, that's what I understood, that this is one property.
Right.
And then the house lot is one property.
That's correct. So, okay, so you're
Can I
gonna,
see this?
yes,
Thank you.
tax deed then, remove. Well, the next sentence, well, the prior sentence, it says, the process they need to take to have the tax collector remove the tax deed on the property and to redeem it. Then I made a motion, it should say tax deed, because in the prior sentence, that's exactly what the tax collector is going to do.
Redeem the tax deed.
Deed on the property and to redeem it. So that's, it should say tax deed.
Second.
Okay? All right.
Nothing important, just a little typo on page 6. Paragraph starts at 7:30. The reputation of. Third line down.
So any more additions, corrections, or?
I do have something that needs to be added. I want to say page 2, we had a thing where Selectman Scanlon made a motion that these minutes should say submitted by the Board of Selectmen. We're all in favor of this, and yet I can't find this on here.
Go ahead.
Present at that meeting,
Ah.
and this is the first I knew anything about this. So
Did you-
I never
did you-
received a directive from the Board
Ah.
of Selectmen telling me
Yeah.
that this is what they'd like me to do. So that's...
So,
Did you
in the
happen to
future,
see
If
that
you'd
on
like me
here?
to do that, I will.
Where are we going to put it on here, at the end?
Right at the end.
Right at the end.
So at the very end,
Yep.
right after we make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
All were in
Yeah.
favor, and then just put respectfully
That's where it
submitted
should
by,
go, I think.
Okay.
submitted by the Board of Selectmen?
I was gonna take that up
I was
after.
curious about that myself.
So I make a motion to approve the minutes of July 24th, 2014, as corrected, as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Mike?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
One other thing regarding the minutes.
Yep.
Would it be possible to get them like a day earlier so we could review them?
I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
Today was just
Depends on what
But, I mean,
interruptions.
Just anytime, and then that way, because a lot of times if I'm going late, if I saw something, I could send it in or something, if anybody has suggestions or research that had to be done.
All right,
Not really.
no public,
Hello.
hello?
Oh.
Town
We're
adminis,
here.
Raise hands.
town administrator. left him earlier than 6.
It's looking good. Don't say anything.
I keep meaning to bring this one to your attention. It's personnel, but I can convey the information to you without revealing who it is or what it is. I'll hand it to you. We have an employee who has this amount of time remaining in paid time off. You can see who it is. And I don't want the employee to lose it.
Okay.
So I'm going to be writing a letter to him saying that you have this amount accrued and that I would encourage him to submit for that. And leave the amount that he needs. He can purchase
How does that
some.
reflect the,
It would replace the current benefit.
okay.
We can't use any paid time off to supplement benefits. They'll just reduce the benefit for that time period.
Okay.
Because the employee's still working, so each week I have to submit.
We do know we have a date, though.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So,
He would still be getting a benefit during that time. I just don't want him to lose that.
right, I agree. Pass that down for the others to see
So,
who it
just,
is.
what the options are, which you can purchase, you can carry over. Once I figure it all out, I'll run it by you folks, and then before I send it, just to make sure, because I don't want to be violating. I've been meaning to do that every month, and now it's September, so.
I just looked through the payroll, there's a lot of people that have accumulated a lot of time.
And what's going to happen is that it's going to come December, and they're all going to take it, and we're right in the same boat again. But they have to know ahead of time. They have to, you
They
take a
do
week.
know, these are not little children.
I know.
They all save it up till the end.
And the other thing might be to send out that time off will be awarded
contract-
first come, first
It's
served.
contractual.
So the whole department could take the whole...
No, it's,
or-
they buy out. They buy it out. There's a certain amount they can buy out. And that's what they save it for.
So when the chief gets here, we need to have him tell them.
Can I see the payroll?
Use it or lose it. Use it or
Okay.
lose it.
Okay, the good news is I finally heard from C.R. Willicke at New Hampshire DOT, and the way we had left it was that at the beginning of the summer, he was packaging up our state aid highway request for the rehabilitation of Caleb Hill Road to go before Governor and Council, and he was going to let us know when he was going to be up in the area to walk the site and see what was going on, and to let me know when he was going to do that, so I could notify the selectmen. Well, he did email today, and he can be available tomorrow afternoon or next Thursday afternoon. So I haven't responded yet, because I think tomorrow afternoon is a little too late of notice.
Will be for me.
So, and I know on
Or any
Thursdays, your
Friday.
meeting,
It's gonna be bad for you.
he has a meeting up in North
Psych
Conway,
yourself
so we
up
wanted
for
to do
it,
it on his way back in the early afternoon.
As long as it's early afternoon.
Okay, so,
Our meeting's at 4. I mean, for me, early afternoon is
Right.
1:30, 2.
Yeah. Or leave
Late
the agenda
afternoon
open
is
and just do...
3.
Choose one or the other.
all right, so I'll nail down a time. And
Anything on the
Dennis
agenda
also
for next
needs,
week?
also needs to be there.
Nothing's on the agenda for next week so far.
9/11.
So if he can do it,
Road trip,
what do you think, road trip? If we have to?
To Caleb Hill?
sure.
Oh, from this meeting?
Yeah.
Nothing comes up. What do you think?
John will be here,
Why wouldn't I be?
because we're
if it's
talking
at-
about early afternoon.
If it's
Oh, but
early.
It's not a meeting, right? You're just going on a tour.
That would be the meeting.
Right.
Okay,
But they may, well, we wouldn't be making a decision.
No.
This is a fact-finding thing.
Well,
They haven't started on the ledge, the last time I went through there. They did some ditching and culvert work on the other two roads that they're supposed to be repaving.
Repaving.
And I haven't seen, I go through there once a
Repaving is
week.
kind of put on hold
Ah.
because they were asked by the Tilton Northfield Aqueduct if they could perhaps allow them to do some work and have it done at the same time,
Cheaper than to do.
cheaper than opening it back up again.
And I appreciate that, but we're finally moved to the top of the list on an emergency basis. Part of those roads is access to the veterans home, and if we don't get it done before the asphalt plant's closed, we've got to go through another winter at the veterans home. They can't get deliveries up there.
I believe their plan is not this, didn't he say? it would be-
Now they're talking about next year?
Of course.
I think so.
I believe he said spring. I believe when we spoke with Bill Rollins, they were talking about spring, but he was getting the
They
news
were
here.
doing Colby, they were doing, I can, maybe.
This is
on
Clark and Colby, not,
Clark and Colby, they want to
Right.
do water.
I was going to put that in your...
Well, I don't know if that pertains to,
Tell you what, I'm going to be very disappointed if come next
that the
year
contractor?
DOT doesn't have money for this project.
It's going to be awful plowing that road.
wait a minute now, hold on.
We might as well plan on it.
It says, this is a memorandum, roadway rehabilitation in Center Harbor, Freedom, and Tilton. Be advised that the work on the subject project was started by Continental Paving on August 27, 2014. This notice does not mean that the contractor has started major work, only that they are on site. Major work will not be allowed until the requirements as noted in 108.03, pre-construction activities, have been satisfied and any other permits and approvals are received.
I went up the beginning of last week and they weren't doing nothing, but if they've been on the site since the 27th, that's just before Labor
I
Day.
think this is going to be like Colby, this is going to be Clark and Colby, that they're, yeah.
Now, I know Winter Street, the Aqueduct Company wanted to do work. I remember that, but I didn't remember Clark and Colby being part of their project.
It wasn't, but then this year, all of a sudden, it became top on the list, and it was not part of our...
The water part of it. The
Oh.
water part.
No.
Clark and Colby, they weren't doing water, were they?
It was,
Winter.
no, that's correct.
Winter, yeah, this is about Winter Street. So why haven't they started paving Clark and Colby? Apparently, the guys are up there.
Because the water company contacted them and asked them to look into so that they can do water on Clark and Colby. That's, am I saying this correct?
Save
That's
them a buck.
Okay.
right.
They don't want to have to pave the road and then have somebody open it up.
And then open it back up again after it's been
They want it opened up,
Yeah.
then sealed
I'm just
shut.
afraid that our funding may go away.
well, and just to finish up, he said that he drafted the GNC request today and sent it up the ladder for review and approval. I apologize for taking so long. It's been a busy summer. If all goes well, it should hit GNC in about a month.
Which is almost too late for paving it.
So, yeah, and he did say
Yeah.
early afternoon, so I will call him and
Lordy.
it's time to do it.
No, not a big window.
couple other things before we get into the stuff that's going to talk. I received a request from Rick Silverberg on, every year we write a letter of support. He has to resubmit to the Federal Bureau of Primary Health Care so that they can remain a service area. It's a service area competition grant. I just received this. It's not due until October 11th. I'd like to review it and then prepare something for the board to sign if they so choose to sign it.
I don't think everybody's aware of who he works for,
Oh, I'm sorry.
at least not
This is-
on the,
Yeah, this is with Health First.
Why do they have anything to do with this? What am I missing here?
Well, let me, I'm letting you know that this is coming up before the board in the future.
What is Health First?
I can't give you all that information
Oh.
right now,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Because you'll get all that in
Is
the
it a
letter.
secret?
No, I'll
Oh,
just give it
okay.
to, I'm just trying to move
All right.
things along.
All right.
Okay, another thing is I received from Wednesday
seen.
from Allison Hartwell. She's applying for highway signage, which we'd like to obtain for the Hartwell Memorial Bandstand. She will pay the fee if the board has no objection and is willing to measure distances for the directional signs. As per our discussion, it says attached is a copy of the department's attraction logo sign, program, and application. A separate application is needed for each direction of travel. And this is Walter Kruenhoff at DOT Bureau of
Yes.
Traffic.
That's
So
the attraction signage that we vehemently went down and tried to get for
Okay.
a lot of people, and the only one on there right now is
The outlets or the?
the outlets, and there's certain
That's on the
criteria.
exit ramps?
It's the
Yeah.
attraction.
Right, but the Tilton School could be on there,
They've got Tilton
Like-
Diners on one of those signs.
the other one
so
could
it's
be the
Spalding.
golf course could be on there.
The Veterans Home is on one, right, for
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
19?
Yep.
And the Spalding
Uh,
Youth Center is
But
on
it's
one.
not on the attraction signage one. It's on the old one.
No. Is there an old one?
Right.
Yeah.
The old one was a signage, just signage that businesses, and they paid. This one is what they call attraction signage, and there's certain criteria that you have to meet in order to have that attraction
That's
signage.
a brown sign?
And what does she want the sign to say? Tilton Island? Tilton Northfield Island? Island concerts? I mean, because the island concerts are only...
Sunday nights. Tilton Island, I don't know.
Tilton Island
I know
Park.
she would like to be a part of that. I think it would be good for Tilton
Yep.
to be on an attraction signage in
Yep.
some way to get the traffic to come downtown. That would be wonderful. Tilton Island Park, Tilton Northfield Island Park, whatever they put on there.
Tilton Island Park sounds good.
Okay.
On a related note, the concert from last week that got washed away, Annie and the Orphans, rock and roll with Anatole, is rescheduled for this Sunday. So,
Oh, I see.
weather permitting.
There's-
but
I
we'll be-
promised him I'd go.
There's all
well,
the criteria, so...
I love Annie, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Known him
I
for years.
just realized there's all the criteria. So
Watch me
we'll get
forget.
up to speed, and then,
And she wanted us to measure distance, the town to measure the distance
Yeah.
from the sign?
for the...
1.2 miles.
From the exit,
From the exit
to the island.
So,
At the intersection of Route 3 and
That's the only measurement
Mm-hmm.
she needs, is the exit to the island.
Yeah.
Joe just gave it to you, 1.2 miles.
No, I made that up.
so
I'll put this on your drives. I just
Don't do
received
that.
this. I haven't...
Sorry about that.
I'm not ready to get behind that yet
Gotta
because
be right in the
it's going to
neighborhood.
depend on what goes on that
2
sign.
miles from Morrison
Okay.
Ave to the high school.
Right, and we have to know what we can put on the sign.
It's only a name,
Well,
it's only a name, whether it says Tilton Northfield Island Park
Or just Island Park.
or Island Park, whatever.
I want to know what's going on the
Well, we're
sign.
going to fill out the application.
For-
Yeah.
For
The
it.
park.
Because we're the ones that are filling it out.
There's a lot more that goes on there than just the concerts.
Well, this is attraction services shall be limited to theaters, museums, scientific, geological, historical sites, historical districts provided, blah, 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 riding stables, public sports facilities, alpine ski areas, Nordic ski areas, exposition convention, amusement parks, zoos, arcade facilities, racetrack facilities, golf drives, miniature golf, candlepin, shopping mall plaza, commerce, business or industrial park, public,
All of them.
private, secondary school, small colleges and universities, major outpatient healthcare facilities, state-owned and operated liquor and wine outlets, visitor
Oh, there's something necessary.
visitor information centers,
that in
wineries
there.
and breweries.
Wow.
So, seasonal businesses,
So where does Island Park fit into that?
that's what
It
we have to
doesn't.
see.
Island Park.
We could build a mini golf thing out there, and then we could get on the sign.
Well, let me scan this to
exercise
everybody,
area.
and can we put this on the agenda for next week? Pat?
Sure. I'll even measure the distance.
All right, I've taken the liberty of going ahead and registering all the selectmen for the Tuesday, September 16th, right to know. I don't know if you've received acknowledgements of that. No.
My
I
email is.
gave you selectmen's addresses for.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
I was like, what did I sign up for?
And I had asked
days
Ashley
ago.
how many people have signed up yet, and she hasn't responded to me, but we have another week, so,
What happened, now, isn't that the night that the sewer commissioners meet?
yes.
What are they doing, meeting downstairs?
They can, or they can just wait and meet at 7:30. It's from 6 to 7:30.
Well,
Sorry, 5 to
they're
7:30.
aware of this, right?
Oh, yes.
And was there any response from them?
They're fine, they'll work around it.
I'm anxious for them to have a meeting, I have something in particular, so I didn't want it to delay their
Sure,
meeting
yeah.
till next month.
No, they'll either meet downstairs at their regular
Okay.
time, or
Just-
wait and...
So far as you know, they still plan on meeting?
Yes.
That's perfect.
Okay,
It's hard to control room temperatures to everyone's liking, so we suggest you dress in layers. It's up here?
You know, up here, you don't want many layers.
What's that?
the Taste of the Trails auction is going to be Thursday, October 9th, from 5 to 8 at the Mojalaki in Franklin. The Trails Association needs permission, but I understand they already hung it, the banner that goes on the, by the Island Bridge, permission.
The horse is already out of the barn on that one, and enjoys.
I was planning on doing this tonight anyway, because I just got these.
I see.
And the letters that go out to people. The selling, I have tickets for sale, so it's okay for me to tell people to come if they want to buy a ticket.
We did that the last
Association,
couple of
and then
years.
this little sign that we put.
Are we going to forego the meeting that night, October 9th, and have it another night? Or how are we going to work that?
This is from.
In the past, we've had a quick meeting and then went over there.
Yep, that's a fact.
We've been here earlier,
That's true.
What time is the Taste of Trail?
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
And you
We
keep,
come in at 2:30.
I'll make sure I'll save you a little plate of food, because the food goes really fast.
That's 2:30. How long is that for?
okay. But how does the board feel about that?
What?
Coming in the afternoon,
Well, we're going to disenfranchise
we
John.
have
What do you
to
think?
go with the majority of,
Well, we can discuss that another time, but I really think that no decision should be made unless it's between...
We never do, John. Unless, if there's any important type decisions that need to be addressed, we always wait for the others to, as far as I know, we do.
we try to wait.
We try to wait.
We'll discuss that another time. But, no, I think we should have the standard hours unless it's an emergency.
So forego
Well,
the meeting that week altogether?
We
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 just
can
don't meet.
forego the meeting altogether, but in the past, we have not done the meeting so that the selectmen can be part of the community endeavor in this trail association. And that's why we're doing it. It's not that we're all taking the night off, it's so that we can be part of the community.
We'll just be over there instead.
If I could try and arrange I can work so I could get here at 3:30.
And we can have a
Work
quick
at 6.
3:30 to 4:30 meeting, and we
We
won't
won't do
schedule
minutes,
anything.
we'll just get to the meat and,
I vote we not have a meeting that night. I mean, any documents we have to sign don't entail a meeting, so why have a meeting
That's
for an
true.
hour?
Just come in and sign the payroll and
Just sign the payroll that
during the
week.
week, and
If something does come up a couple days in advance,
unless there's something that has to be
We have an
dealt with.
emergency, then we'll have an emergency meeting.
Right. Okay. We'll do it that way. So we won't have a meeting on the October 9th, but if there's something that comes up, we'll take it.
We'll have an emergency meeting.
Right off, Captain.
And dinner.
All right.
I'll save the island for when you guys do your selectmen's report, just to save on time, unless you want to talk about it now.
I
up to you.
Lowe's?
Lowe's, you mean? Yeah.
They would like to, we're just waiting to hear back from them because they have to talk to their manager and to see if employees are willing to do the work, but tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 22nd, to replace the cedar shingle roof of the gazebo. And we're talking about
27th?
22nd. The whole thing, plus the fascia boards, sand and stain, replace the ramp, and they have a budget of $1,200 for materials, so we're hoping that will cover it. And if there's any money left over, then their landscaping department will come and do some plantings, either some around the gazebo itself or in that little, what was an arbor area one time, where there's flowers and a little stone walkway, something there.
I like it and I appreciate it, but has Northfield been informed already?
Yes, of course. I didn't even call them back until they voted to go ahead and
And that's
accept the
good
donation.
over there?
Yeah.
Yay, I make
Kevin
a...
Voted at their public
Walden came,
meeting.
Selectman Walden was there.
Yeah, Kevin was there the day it got canceled too with the tree.
So do we need to make a motion to accept the donation?
Well,
When we
When we
get it.
when we get it.
formally get it.
yeah,
Do we need a motion to allow them to work on the island?
No,
I just want to do it right.
yeah.
not yet.
No, I brought it to the board's attention before I even called them back.
Yep, okay.
And the board said yes, so I called her, and because we're under the gun, because this has to be done before the end of September. So we just quick met Tuesday, but no, like, we couldn't meet because the tree fell, and then we said, okay, we'll come back tomorrow at 2, and then
Have
we
we
finished
checked
up.
the schedule to see if there's any weddings or anything else planned for that
That
day?
is a good point. Not on a Monday, I doubt it. We don't have any weddings scheduled for that week of September 22nd. They're going to do it during the week.
October, we have a couple of...
Won't they be lucky to have a nice brand new for their
Well,
wedding?
the roof we got over there now, it's fixed. I was over there looking at it.
So as soon as I hear back from Robin, I'll try calling her. No, when did she say they were going to meet with their Sunday morning? So I can't call her back
At
until
6
Monday.
o'clock.
6 o'clock Sunday morning, their associate meeting. So I can call on Monday. And they'll do the cedar shakes. They'll do a really nice job.
That would be wonderful.
And they're going to, the gentleman who's going to be spearheading that project, he is a contractor by trade, so he knows what he's doing. He's supposed to come over later this week to do all the measurements.
Oh, excellent.
And also, he's going to fabricate some brackets to, that look similar to the ones that are on the benches now, so that he can put a brace underneath in the center of the benches that are on the gazebo.
I know one of the things, I don't know if they addressed it, was leveling the bandstand or the gazebo. Presently, they're held up on blocks on each of the 8 corners, but the middle block seems to have risen from the frost a little bit higher.
Ah,
You know how rocks do?
yeah.
And so the whole thing is, I'm exaggerating, but it's,
Yeah.
up in the middle. So
All right.
just to,
We'll level it.
we'll level it while they're at it.
So I'll get back to the board next week when I talk to them on Monday. Okay, Ernie's, I haven't had a chance yet to even talk with Rip yet about the fence. I did speak with Chuck, and he said that we should, as far as the Ernie's piece, we should be consistent with the Salmon Run piece. And in the deed for Salmon Run, it says specifically, the state of New Hampshire reserves an 8 5/10 foot wide highway easement over these parcels for future highway purposes, with the southerly boundary of these easements being located 8 5/10 feet southerly of and parallel with the southerly sideline of US 3 New Hampshire Route 11 as now traveled and as referenced and shown on the aforementioned plan. I don't have a plan.
They want 8.5 feet off the edge of the paved road?
Well, they reserve that as a right-of-way.
Right.
But the problem is, they're trying to put up a barrier, mainly to keep people from driving on the property and from people from parking. So if we put up, if the barrier is put up, that's 8 feet off the edge of pavement,
They're
They'll park between the
people can
pavement.
park. They're gonna park all along there. They're gonna climb over whatever barrier is there to get to the river to fish and do what they've been doing for generations. So it
Kidnap
doesn't
feet's too much.
preclude us from putting something in the right-of-way, which is all over town. I mean, everybody's mailbox is in the right-of-way. As long as we understand that if they have to do any work there,
A guardrail is probably not going to be a good idea in that space.
That was the other thing that you got from Bill Rollins. Is that where that email came from?
Yep.
I sent it off to everybody, yes, they were unaware that it had gone from earth berm to split rail fence to guardrail, so I think I sent
Back-
everybody
back to
everything.
split
So
rail
I
fence.
gave them a little history of how it went from this to this to this. And right now, with the Conservation Commission, and I'm speaking, you're a Conservation Commission member, I'm speaking for you. The Conservation Commission has approved what is being referred to as a guardrail.
But in reality,
I don't think it's officially a New Hampshire Department of Transportation approved guardrail.
The minutes at the meeting when we should reflect it, that what we decided that it would pass to what the state would require us to have.
so it is a guardrail. With buried posts and metal strip
Yeah,
and,
and we haven't priced it yet
Uh-huh.
because we don't know what they require for specifications.
They're not going to let us have one.
The state's
Yeah,
not
the
gonna let
state
us
will
have
not
that.
allow a guardrail
So, and
on our own property.
Right.
along their highway.
This pertains to, well, the Salmon Run piece, because there's an easement.
Yep.
And it also says, just for the Salmon Run parcels, says this conveyance is subject to the restriction that these parcels, because there were 2 little parcels, not just one, are to be used for conservation and recreational purposes only, and that the grantee and its successors and assigns covenant agree not to allow residential, municipal, or commercial structures or development on these parcels. Recreational
structure.
structures, including a bridge, are allowed so long as they in no way interfere with the state highway or the highway easement reserved therein. So I think that means no parking, too. I mean, we can't put any parking.
I think they should go back to the earth berm for now, so that we can get the driveway permit, so we can get the project done. And, I mean, my feeling is, get her done, get it vegetated, put up some grade stakes with a rope and flags for now. It's not going to be aesthetically pleasing. Put up the no parking signs, the deflective delineators, and have the police patrol it and start training people. And then as the vegetation grows up and develops, take the these grade stakes down with the rope and flags and see if we've got it. They can put a fence up this year, next year, the year after, but this project is going to be stalled if we don't get the driveway permit. Get her done.
Okay,
And now they're not meeting again until the 3rd week of this month, right? Third
Why
Monday.
is the project on Ernie's going to be stalled with the driveway permit when you're talking about a guardrail on Salmon Run?
Because the proposal is to have the guardrail run through both properties,
Just be
all the way up
consistent.
to the driveway.
because they'll both be joined, so they both,
Ultimately, it'll be the same all the way up, ultimately, but
I
that,
cannot see stalling this, we've been waiting 2 years for this Ernie's project to stall. If you stall it any longer, it's not going to get done until the spring,
Right.
and we have to have it done per the
Oh, yeah, because,
grant.
yeah.
We're going to lose that money.
like,
So-
I think maybe we can work it out, talk to Chuck and the Conservation Commission to get started, and then if a guardrail or a fence could be installed later, but at least get the project
Well,
going.
what I had
with the-
suggested to Chuck was, and I'm kind of anxious because I haven't responded yet to Rip, is just have him, because Bill Rollins wants another plan, submit another plan, take out the berms, and just show a location, fencing to be determined at a later
I
date.
would even put that, no fence, just
To say berm.
berm, just leave the berm
I
in.
know, but the
He wanted a cross-section of the berm,
Conservation
too.
Commission said he wanted a cross-section of the berm.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
that's-
don't
that
put a
was in the
berm.
permit.
Don't even put a berm.
Okay, but the Conservation Commission is developing it.
I know, but this is, I'm going to go to the, are you kidding? I'm going to the Conservation Commission meeting next time.
We have to have that opening for where the...
And I'm going to tell them, don't put anything
They're
there.
going to
No,
hold up this entire project for that. How many years have we had this going?
I think they can be convinced. They don't realize.
DOT was going to have.
Yeah, they don't
even more in.
realize.
And everybody's forgetting it going. I think Chuck and the rest of the Conservation Commission will do
They
something.
want to get this, I know they want to get this
Yeah.
going. as well as the rest
Whether
of
it's temporarily put something up there just to get up and then next
I
spring.
know they
deal
want to
with
get it going too, but, you know,
Just
get it
knowing that
done.
this project is has been going to be taking place for almost 2 years now. And this all should have been decided and started in the motion
Well, the
with
Ernie's
decisions a long time
Back
ago.
in February, the Conservation Commission has been meeting, and I'll have to look at the minutes to see when Rip and Rick gave you the plan, and then they voted on the plan.
We all came up
and
here.
that was
We all
what
came up here.
Went to DOT with our,
Yeah, I don't think
And
anybody,
berms,
I don't think
wildflowers.
anybody was aware of these roadside hazards, which is the new thing. Well, I don't think it's that new, it's
I'd
past.
put huge boulders along, about 4.5 feet off the road.
Well, we've
they've
talked.
talked
Roadside
that-
I know, liability. and-
Nothing. They don't need anything. They need no parking signs and delineators. That's what they need.
Just to
What's
get
the
started.
It's going to be covered with snow. Don't plow it. In the winter, no one parks on it.
That's true,
No one uses it.
that's true.
So we've got
Could I-
until next spring to worry about it.
If we're going to do anything, I would suggest that we go ahead with Ernie's, get that going, because the people that go down there for their fishing in the fall, they can still park on the Salmon Run part until Ernie's is done. Then there'll be an official parking lot, which will encourage people to park in the parking
True
lot
enough.
and on the other. They won't, and
That's true.
migrate.
Well,
We'll
and-
just.
and Chuck asked again that he wants the selectmen to, and this would be a question for the chief, so to allow no parking on the side of the road there, or on our property, wherever this berm, fence, whatever's going to be there, do we need a parking ordinance in order for you to enforce it? Or the fact that there's no parking signs, is that
No, as long as it's posted.
posted? Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to get nervous about this.
Well, I'm going to go to their meeting and,
When are they meeting again? Not until the
Third-
end of September.
it's right, third Monday.
I tell you, that whole piece of property
But-
looks so much
but-
nicer now than it used to.
We just need the permit. We call up DOT and tell them, go with the original plan. Just go with it. Do it. If you like,
Okay, and
eliminate the
have him-
berm.
Yep, so we
And
have
I'll
our
talk to
permit.
Mike Kimball and Bill.
All right.
And then we go forward with it. But it should not stop Kadiri from going forward with whatever bids they want to put out, whatever needs to get done to get us into construction mode. Because DOT, quite frankly, okay, don't give us the permit. You know what? We're going to still access the whole front of these properties as ingress and egress.
Now we have a huge.
All right.
You think they want that to happen?
All right.
No,
So I'll have Rip respond to Bill's
that's what they got now.
Getting scared
email
now.
for what he asked for. A cross-section of the berm and moving that thing.
For now, yes.
Okay. And also the wires, I've been watching this week, because last week,
They're still there.
Yeah.
I looked yesterday,
They
they're
haven't
still
been-
there.
they haven't been
So I'm going to
transferred
email
yet.
Marty again and say, Marty, CWI still hasn't shown up. Now, Highway Department seasonal hiring, did you put on your drives?
You know, if Marty doesn't respond, and Marty says, this is the second time Marty has responded back to, and said, well, that's CWI, and I don't know when they're coming out. I think that was his respond. Then I would talk to the president of the company and let it trickle down where it may. And then I would get Senator Forrester in there, because this is federal monies that we're holding up, grant monies that we're holding up and saying, you know what, it's all contingent on moving wires. The poles are set, moving wires, and I can guarantee you the next day we'll have them out there moving wires.
2 days tops.
That's a good call.
The president of the
Wish that
Fairpoint
tree
is
fell
in Maine. I might have his number.
And we have Senator Forrester's number, I know.
Oh, yeah, we got them.
I had one fall.
But we have,
Oh, I had a oak tree fall.
believe his,
Same
we
guy.
called on, remember when I got the number with,
Here's the boom truck. Here's our sign.
One of our seniors
Just move this.
was being disconnected.
And the tree fell right there.
I got it.
That would have been ugly.
Okay, what's next?
The job descriptions, I'm sorry, the job descriptions and the help wanted ads for the seasonal sidewalk plow operator and full-time truck driver position. I put those on your drives.
I thought it was one position. I thought we were hiring one person.
That's
Two
what he
people.
said.
One person.
He does he does plowing, but he also is a truck driver and what have you. the
But it's
rest of
one
the-
person.
2 people.
No.
One is a sidewalk.
Listen.
One is a sidewalk plow operator that we hire every single summer, every single winter.
Yep.
Okay, we've had 3 since I've been here. We had Peter Shepard, we had Jay Boyden, who became full-time. We had Mike Somerset for 2 seasons. So now this will be our 4th person. that we've
Dennis
hired.
said something about this.
Yes,
So-
and starting in January, we have to hire, just for the winter season, a snow plow driver.
So who did we hire last January for that?
We did not,
And who did we hire the year before for that?
Nobody.
did not,
So why all of a sudden
Dennis
this year?
Dennis
Dennis
is
is
reducing his hours.
part-time. Like Dennis is working 32 hours.
That's the
Dennis
variable.
reduced his hours, so he won't be out there at night plowing.
So he's not going to be available for 8 hours, but we've got to hire a part-time person to work how many hours?
Up to 40, and then be available for snowstorms. But there's a net
There's a net savings to the
net
town.
savings, because we're not paying Dennis as much, or benefits.
It's basically on-call as needed
No,
snowstorm.
40 hours a week.
Part-time is 32, right? So it's 32 hours a week.
Dennis is 32 hours a week, and he's asking for a full-time seasonal snow truck driver just for the winter months, starting
think I missed
January
that.
2nd.
I think I misunderstood that conversation.
I do too.
I thought we were hiring one position to do both. And since we don't have somebody plowing, we don't have storms every day of the week.
What are we doing with the 40-hour guy?
Yeah,
Try to understand.
Because you don't have Dennis in the wintertime working
That's
45, 50
beyond the
hours.
point.
He can only work 32.
That's beyond the whole conversation.
so why don't we hire a subcontractor who will come in and plow for us when we have a snowstorm?
You can do that, but when he came and spoke to the board, that's not what he...
I know, I personally misinterpreted what he
We're not running
said.
these ads tomorrow, so it's good
I
that we're
misinterpreted
having
what he
this...
said.
Let's bring him back in and clarify that again.
Okay. And then Catherine asked if we had job descriptions, which we do. It's just that these are for our full-time people. It's the same job, but what we're hiring is temporary seasonal with no benefits. They work 40 hours a week, but they don't have any benefits.
So they're not part-time, they're temporary,
Temporary
seasonal.
seasonal.
Well, I gotta tell you, the 40 hours a week thing I missed too.
Me too.
So we can talk to
We
Dennis
talked
again.
to it. Yep. Next.
Did you
Make sure we're
understand
crystal
when he came
clear.
in that there was going to be 2 positions?
Oh, I have an email. Want me to put the email?
Part-time.
One person to do both jobs? Okay.
Actually, let me
I
stick
don't
that
feel
on
better.
now.
I didn't know where.
All right, well, the job descriptions are under, I made a folder, personnel.
Thank you, I saw that. Nice job.
Now, Cannon Bridge, this has been a lot of emails back and forth.
Do you have a list of the contractors they sent the bid to?
Yes, I do. Just bear with me. And I just saw, I got another email from one of the Northfield Selectmen that I haven't opened. So this is 12/36.
That's it?
3/51. Yes.
Why did they condense it so?
I don't know.
It's Odley, not Audrey, if it's Odley down in Bow. That says Audrey.
I don't know.
It's Odley
Part of
Construction.
my
Oddly, right?
Oddly.
A-U-D-L-E-Y,
Yes.
down above,
Correct.
on the left, as you head south, okay.
Depends on which way you're going, but
When
yeah.
you're going south.
Okay.
September 4th.
I think that's the problem, why nobody's responding.
Well,
And I know, in fact, it is, because I talked to Oddly today.
so that's Audley, not Audrey?
A-U-D-L-E-Y.
Oh, I'm sure that's just a typo.
I'm sure the computer corrected it.
Okay. So as of yesterday, I did send this to the board. The bids were opened, and there was only one bidder, which was RM Piper, and it was $327,640. We received a copy of this yesterday, and this is from Glenn Smith. Joyce, the board discussed this last evening. They took no final action, but voiced some concerns with accepting the one bid. The CIP committee will be reviewing Piper's bid tomorrow evening, which would be tonight. The chair of that committee is a bridge engineer, and another member has 40 years of bridge experience, so the board is very interested in their perspectives. So, what I had said to Glenn was, after their CIP committee meets, I said, the two boards of selectmen need to schedule a meeting and meet. So, and he agreed. So maybe that's what that response.
These companies that they send them out are good companies. They're big companies. They're booked up to almost a year.
Well, this doesn't start till 2015 anyway.
Well, but like I said, it's like I talked to Oddly because I know them. I've known them for, never mind. Anyway, I know them. They're booked up into summer. And he told me that if this project was for, July and fall, they'd be delighted to bid on it. But most of these companies are Beckham Bellucci and Everox. They're big companies. The other issue I have is, it's not a big bridge job.
No.
There's a plethora of companies that would bid on that. There's Hanson
Who
in
did
New
they
London.
send it to? I haven't
The
seen it
big
yet.
guys. There's Hanson in New London. There's Latulip
She
in
has it over there
Ashland.
someplace.
What about our buddy from
Over in
Pine Street?
Guilford, John and Jack.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lyman.
About the guy from the Pine Street. Does he do that kind of work?
Whom?
Pine Street, the Pine Street Bridge.
No, those are box culverts. That's a little different.
You still had to lay asphalt and what have you over it.
Nah, it's a little different.
There was no
There's-
metal or rebar.
There's
or-
a science to this bridge. It's a
Expansion
lot
joint.
different than the box culvert. But these other guys do these kinds of projects. All over the state. There's some companies in Vermont that work on these types of bridge. They don't want to work on the 93 bridges, and they're going to be there for, 6 months. They like these kind of jobs. And there's different kind of bridge people. There's the covered bridge guys.
But
Well, we're not looking for covered
bridge.
As far as I know.
After they dedicated it last month, they spent
Nice covered bridge there?
$3.2 million they spent on that bridge to redo it.
Somebody,
A box truck went through it and
was too high.
unseated all the beams.
just finished it.
They just finished the dedication a week before.
And there's a height restriction on the bridge.
Height restriction, and he went through it.
Hope he's got a good insurance.
We should meet with them.
Okay. Do you want to do next Tuesday?
I'd love to,
Are
I
they meeting
can't.
every week or every other week?
Meeting every week.
Tuesdays don't work
I'd
for
like to
me
do
at
the
all. I
Tuesday
teach
after.
classes on
I'd like to have a
Tuesday.
chance to call up some of these
Tuesday's
people I
selection.
know to see if they would be interested in bidding on this, the ones that I have called.
But you
Very
don't need
interested.
me
It's just like I
for
said,
that.
they're
Tuesday's
scheduled out.
election.
Well, next Tuesday won't work, yeah.
We can't
Or
do.
do you want them to come to our meeting on Thursday?
If they could do that, that would certainly be more convenient for us, I think.
That would be more positive because,
That would be,
well,
less time would go out.
right, because they're every other week, right?
No, I think they're every week.
They are every week. Because the primary's the 9th, and then we can't do the 9th because it's the primary, but we can do the 11th. If not,
Following,
and the following Tuesday's the right to know.
right.
So we really can't get there, so,
I'm still teaching
So it'd have to be
class.
next Thursday.
right. So it'd have to be the 11th. So can you temporarily put them in there and, well, we don't know a time yet. We'll just say the
I'll
selectmen.
go, I'll email Glenn and call him tomorrow, talk to him tomorrow. That's all I have for right now.
I have a question.
Been a short, crazy week.
On CCNTR's website, Rick Silverberg's
Okay,
Caring Community,
yep.
it lists member agencies. It lists funders, and it lists partners. The only town that they represent, no, that's Franklin's on there. So they've got the city of Franklin listed as partner, and the town of Northfield. But they represent, what, 8? Is there 8 communities, including
Yeah,
us?
but remember they changed all those districts? Remember when that woman came and
Right,
talked
but
to
they're,
us?
right, but they still serve Tilton.
Oh, yes.
So my question is, what makes somebody a partner?
That's a good question.
And, I mean, I'd like to think that we were partnered with them. A little disheartened to
I
say we weren't.
assumed that we were,
Right, but
at
we're
least
not
until we
listed.
lost the bridge. Yes, I'm still bitter. No bridge. We had a bridge, but now we don't have a bridge.
What are you talking about?
Being partners with Rick Silverberg and those people.
This is the company he works for. This is the Caring Community Networks of the Twin Rivers.
And this is not part of the bridge.
No. This is who he works for. This is an organization that provides services. They go into communities and try to help them with health issues.
No, okay.
They work with, what,
For
CAP?
some
They
reason, when I
work
heard Rick
with...
Silverberg, I'm assuming it's the
Oh, no,
trail.
that's something he does without being paid
That's a
for.
hobby.
That's his voluntary
Okay.
position. No,
I'm still
he's
bitter
the...
about the bridge, but you
He's the
figured that out.
managing director of the Caring Community Network of the Twin Rivers.
Something gave it away.
And he also does Health
Back to
First,
John.
which is a
I keep saying it.
That's part of
healthcare
it.
providing agency. They provide
Oh, the
healthcare
engineering.
services.
But isn't that part of,
Like a
Two
freaking
separate
elephant, buddy, I
organizations
don't
he's on
forget.
both.
oh my gosh, that guy.
Well, all he does
Yeah.
is write grants. Writes
You know,
grants.
scroll
He
down.
helped us with a grant. One time.
Scroll down.
But yeah, could you
Thank you very much.
just inquire how one becomes a partner with them? They do good work.
Pass that down to Joe so he can look at that too.
Forgot my glasses. This just looks like ants crawling around to me.
Okay, pass it back up, we'll send it up.
Let's
I'll
see.
have to look
On
and
the
see.
off chance,
One that I received today.
he's worked better than mine.
It out. If I had forwarded this one to the board.
Oh,
But that's all I have.
490 Laconia Road is doing something?
There was another one. Oh, the CDBG. That's on the 16th, I believe, that we have them coming in
Which one is
18.
that for?
for the review.
If you wanted to interview them and...
My goodness.
No, that's not for
The Windy
Gaslight.
Hill.
That's
Windy Hill.
Or Windy Hill.
This is a morning package.
They've been strongly encouraged to call you.
Yes, I've got a call from them. I'm dealing with that issue.
Okay.
It's not,
We have a note
not
from,
good.
in the FYI for Lowe's
Thank you.
for customer appreciation, special events up there on September 22nd.
So things are,
Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid is open house on September 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
that's up in Laconia.
Yep. Communications Drive.
That's still up on the state school property.
Did you announce the September 17th at the senior center?
appreciate that.
Announce that?
Yeah, the other day, somebody said to me, they came out of the senior center and said, "Oh, I understand the selectmen are serving us."
Really?
And I said, "I wasn't aware of that. We got an invitation to go to the
lunch.
the senior week, but I haven't heard from Joan Barretto or Pam asking us to serve the volunteers. I remember they did that in the fall, I mean,
That's on
the
the 17th.
spring.
That's on the 17th.
Right.
We're supposed
This
to
is
RSVP.
this is senior week
Yeah.
that they're talking about. So I meant to call Joan or Pam to get a clarification on that, but I
I
didn't
assume
have
we did it
time.
last year, we're gonna do it this year.
They must have liked us doing that.
And at some point, you were going to talk with Pam.
Yes, but right now, I did talk with Joan Barretto on that. We're trying to renew our MOU for the senior center, and that's what Joyce was referring to. Right now, they're trying to hire a program director to replace Sarah Paratori. And so as soon as they get that finished, they haven't forgotten us. Also, they're having a few troubles in the area with senior centers. They have to move out of Sunapee, and they've sold the building or done something to the building. And so there's a lot of influx going around right now with senior centers, and they just asked for a little bit of time. So they're trying to get us a program director. And as soon as we get that, then we'll sit down and do the MOU with them. They haven't forgotten us on that, though. But I will call tomorrow, I'll make a note and call tomorrow about the senior dinner on the 17th. Because if it is us serving, then we need to know how many are going to be there that day.
Well, I already RSVP'd, so I'm planning to.
You plan to be there, okay. And that's on
I
the,
don't sign that.
that's on the 17th?
I do look at it, though.
Starts at 10:45 and the lunch is at 11.
Yep. I'll be there.
I'll just have to change my dentist. I'll do it. Okay, so, that's it for us?
The Lowe's is doing their community appreciation on the 22nd of September. Who's going to come?
Well, that's a separate department. Yeah, this is a pro thing. Probably shouldn't even read it out loud, but it's, it would involve like dentists. I mean, you know, vendor demos, giveaways, special events. They would go into there. It's the pro services. So, that's it. All right. Chief, you got something for us?
This guy, I hate this. This guy actually worked that many. Took this many of that.
Okay.
And then he goes into this. Like 31 hours, 7 hours.
Calls for service as of today inside the building, we're at about 6,958 calls.
Where does that stand from last year, do you know?
It's about average. We did 210 calls inside in the last week, so that's about, we average between 210 and 230 in-house. And then we do a certain number of calls with Belknap Dispatch each year, and as of, I don't have the number for this week, but I had it as for last week's meeting of 3,672 calls they've dispatched for us, so we keep them busy. We're their busiest agency in the county that they dispatch for.
Are you breaking down those calls to determine how many of them are like, you know, help me, I've locked my keys in my car, my cat's up my tree, or even following the fire truck?
You can. I mean, it'll break it down as far as you want. And so if there's a particular type of call that you like, how many of those did you go on, let me know. Because it can be a 40-page breakdown. But we can. It has that ability. And I think I had mentioned before, we have a officer on surgery on his stomach tomorrow morning, so he'll be out for 2 weeks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, to work around that, to minimize overtime, we have just a 1 to 7 block open in the morning. So we'll be filling some midnight stuff from 1 to, it's a 6-hour block basically. And that kind of minimizes the overtime while he's out for 2 weeks, but it almost becomes unavoidable. Still having Gary out, and so I got to have a couple of meetings tomorrow. We're having our first school meeting at 9 a.m. with the new principal. So
New principal?
new principal. Yep. And I haven't met him
That's
yet,
too
so-
close. It's echoing. Okay.
And then I have a supervisors meeting tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. We have that Tippecop coming up, all the Applebee's do them every September. It's the week of September 17th is the week they do them statewide. So all the Applebee's will be participating, so ours will be Wednesday night, September 17th. And I think some of you guys might have came last year. We waiter and waitress for money for Special Olympics.
Couldn't get a cup of coffee. It was terrible.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Remind me, I'll make a fresh
Okay.
pot, but, so we'll be waiting and waiting.
And all the proceeds go to Special Olympics?
Yeah, we actually came in number 1 in the state last year,
Okay.
Tilton. So whatever we did right. It'll be 5 to 9 on the 17th.
On the 17th?
Yeah, so we have
So
some,
we get to go to the senior center and serve up there, and then a Tippecop.
yeah, and I put that on my calendar. I'll come to that.
Is there
senior-
something that could be, so we could put it on the website?
Yeah, I just spoke with Gary, the manager there at Applebee's, and firmed it up today, so,
5 to 8?
we do it 5 to 9.
Oh, 9.
5 to 9.
Wow, 4 hours
4-hour block, but...
waiting.
And then the athletes will come out and they'll greet people and open the doors for them and all that.
Okay.
So it was nice last year. We did really well. And it was a lot of fun, too. I have a whole new respect for that business. Carrying stuff in and out of the kitchen, waiting on people.
Work hard, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they do. Joe, you sat on this with me, and I think, Catherine, you might have helped a little. The hazardous mitigation plan.
I was on that.
Yep, so that draft is done, 100 pages of some light reading I have to get through tonight and get
Yeah,
back
that's
to
the
Dave
last
Jeffers
meeting,
tomorrow. So I'll keep you in the loop on that. Last time we did it, Mike Izzard helped, remember? And Joyce, I think you helped. Remember we ordered that Acorn system? That's finally in, so I have to get together with Tim, the installer, just asked that we have a
That's
cat
the,
recording.
Recording.
right.
Yeah, he called me.
Dispatch.
Acorn
It
recording.
records the
Radio and
dispatch.
dispatch.
Oh,
Yep, so I gotta get together with Tim, the installer, says we need a Cat 5 cable from the server room to dispatch, and it's a drop ceiling, so it's pretty easy to do. And then,
Except if it's a rat's nest.
yeah. Catherine, you remember a few years back we worked on the old pod drill, remember that?
I remember the pods.
They wanna do another one October 28th at
For
the...
H1N1.
Yes. So I got an email today, they wanna do one on October 28th.
Who's sponsoring that?
It's the same, it's the All Hazards Health Network. Remember Jim Richardson worked with us last time?
He's a great guy. He was in Franklin.
Yeah, so now we have Susan Laverack. We're Region 5. They lumped us in with Laconia. So Region 5 has never done anything over here. This is their first time. And so I said, well, we've done the middle school before. It worked okay. And so they're going to kind of follow our template. But they have it down from 1:30 to 6 o'clock that day. 6 o'clock, yeah.
Got it.
Do we need to be there?
1:30 to 6.
Just Catherine? She's the
Well,
health
it definitely
officer.
involves health, obviously, but
Okay,
certainly you're
yeah.
welcome to come by and see it. You know, basically, if they had a set up a mass inoculation site.
Yeah.
Pod is point of distribution. You really have to plan these things because you could get an influx of people, especially if it was something serious. And you've all seen what's going on the news with Ebola. I mean, if all of a sudden there was
Let's bring
a,
it to our country, right?
yeah.
Let's do that, because that makes more sense.
So, I mean, they worry about this surge at these schools, point of distribution sites, so there's all kinds of issues, security, having fire and EMS on hand for people that have disabilities or are on oxygen, transporting them to the pod site. Well, there's a whole list.
So everyone involved knows what their job is, how to do it, when to do it, where to.
How to get them in, to register them.
Who's the boss?
And then they can't leave for 20 minutes after they get their shot, so someone has to watch them. So it's pretty involved, so it's been a few years since we did the last one. It's been a...
Refresher course.
Yeah, so, light on the fleet, the only things I got this week is 6B and C need free on, and probably in another month, that'll be a moot point.
To answer your question, Catherine, it may get here, but should we push it to get here?
No. No.
Let's bring them over on a plane.
It's already been on our shores. It's been here. Brought them over and treated them here.
Yeah.
August indictments I didn't get, because last week's meeting it was pretty wrapped up, so I didn't go over it, but just in the month of August, we indicted 3 for sales of narcotics, 1 for title fraud, and 2 for aggravated sexual assault. So those were our indictments for
Nice.
August.
Good job.
Thanks. And then, that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
We need to respond back to the gentleman that was
Oh,
here
yeah.
the other day on the gun.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, the gun. I thought you were talking about.
Oh, that.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, we all need to respond to the other one.
Yeah, I saw that too, and
And I don't know how to nip that in the bud, because it's not going to go. It's like on a rapid train derailing right now with the emails that are corresponding back and forth with this guy.
I think
And I think we have to stop him.
I think we need to write a letter, and the chief and I have talked about this a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, that the Board of Selectmen, basically in our letter, that we are concurring with the letters that already have been sent to them, saying, we've done our due diligence.
Right.
We've gone above and beyond what we're required to do.
Right.
And that the Board of Selectmen support our police department in that. We're done, in nicer words, but we're done
Right.
here. And have the chief sign it with us, so that the Board of Selectmen and the chief, in one document, says it all. We're done with it.
Yeah, at the last selectman meeting, I gave Catherine a copy of the last letter that was sent to
Yeah.
him, and we haven't responded to any emails. We're doing everything by mail. I think he's been sent 3 letters, so I said if you want it, either if the board wants to draft it, or I'll draft it and you can sign it,
Yeah.
either way.
I think if you draft it, we'll sign it.
Want to do something, kind of like
Or
some...
come up,
All the dates and
Yep.
right. And then
And then
if
we can
need to
attach the
change it,
previous
right.
letters and...
Exactly.
It says, that's it.
That's it. No more correspondence, we're done.
We've done
We've tried our best.
Excellent.
above and beyond.
And did you want to...
Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
And please make that a part of the letter. We will not be corresponding with you
By
on this
email.
matter
From this
again.
point on.
Right.
The other one was
Sign. Is that
the sign at the island. The gentleman came in, and our sign says unauthorized people, which, if you have a gun and it's concealed and you are authorized by the
You have a
state.
permit to carry
You have a
it
permit to
concealed.
carry it, you're all set.
You're authorized.
Do you want to see it?
Even if it's not concealed, if you're carrying out in the open.
Right, if you don't have a,
Authorized.
right, you
You
don't need a permit, you're
authorized
allowed. So
automatically,
we
unless
tried
you're
to
a felon.
explain this to him.
And there is no liability to the town.
What his fear was that he was going to have a concealed weapon, and he's, permitted to have a concealed weapon, and that, God forbid, big wind came and opened his jacket, and somebody saw a gun and yelled out, "There's a gun, the guy's got a gun," and arrest
Sign or no sign, there's a
That's gonna
gun
happen.
could happen.
It could happen anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
But there's no control over that. We're not denying him the right to be on the island.
No.
And I don't
By
know,
that sign.
he doesn't realize we do
He's got a
training on
carry
it.
permit
The officers
and-
all go through, now it's
Oh.
even at the academy, where if you get a complaint someone has a gun, that you just politely go up and ask, if it's concealed, do you have a permit? And
So we have to come up with, a language to write him back and say that we're not restricting anybody from being on the island unless you have a concealed weapon that's not permitted.
And how do we know that? Well, we don't know that.
A concealed
What's
weapon
his
would
app?
be, the police officer would ask for the permit.
Right.
You're carrying a concealed weapon and a police officer knows that, he better be asking if you have a permit.
And that would be it. If you do, you walk away. If you
That's right.
don't, then
You take care of it.
you take care of it.
it seems like his interpretation is, it seems like his interpretation is no at all,
Right.
and we're not
Take it off
saying
there
that.
or leave it on, and it doesn't change what it
Virtually
means.
nothing changes about the enforcement of the law.
Not our law, it's state law.
The fact is,
They
he was-
lost
he was
something on
worried
the
about
trailer
how
or something.
people would,
Loose,
construe his firearm. Well, if
What's
I was
that?
out
Loose
hunting
rounds.
squirrels and had a shotgun, decided to go to the concert and walked in there and had a shotgun across my shoulder, I think that would confuse people.
Yeah, I think it would.
And it's not concealed, yeah, I wouldn't live in the car. So,
bowl
it
or-
doesn't, I personally don't think we need to respond to him.
It's,
Also,
It's- it's
didn't
an
you tell,
argument that-
did you tell him we would?
We told him we would talk with the chief and that we would get back to him. That's how we left it.
And I think we should respond.
And I
that
think we should, it's a
nothing about
legitimate
the
question.
enforcement, nothing bars him from carrying his weapon onto Island Park.
He left the name and number with Catherine.
God bless the Second Amendment.
Well, it was the-
And that's easy to
it's
word.
funny. It was the
It
police
should be
department
easy to
that
word.
asked us to put that wording in these.
Sign or no sign, if
Who's it,
somebody
the park?
sees a concealed weapon,
Oh, yeah.
they may well
I think it
freak.
gets rolling.
Do you want
Most likely,
to respond to that?
Some might.
Or do you want,
I can do it and
Okay.
and send you a copy.
okay.
Is that good?
Is that okay with everybody?
That would be
Yep,
fantastic.
excellent.
All
Thank
right,
you.
great. And Catherine has his name and telephone number.
Okay.
Anybody I saw with a gun on Island Park, I would watch them.
Okay, Tim,
I have a
I
topic
would,
that
but,
involves the chief.
yeah, I want to know
Oh, you
where
do?
they are, where I have a relationship to them.
I was approached by Heather. Heather was somebody.
By who?
Heather,
Oh,
our welfare director.
oh, it's Heather.
She's great.
Good.
She's looking for someone at the police department to be a direct contact for her. Because oftentimes, as do I, in our jobs, we come across things that we need to talk to the police about. So she wanted one person. So I've talked to the chief and I've talked to the captain, and he is their human resources person, right? Didn't we assign him that task?
In an investigation.
Right. But he's still
Who is that now, Captain?
the captain, Ryan Martin.
Captain Martin.
He was willing to take that on, and the chief felt that would be a good thing too. So that between them, if he's not available, the chief is always available.
Can't she request that from the chief on her own? Or do we have to become involved in that?
She's our employee.
right, she asked us to,
Yeah,
It's all-
okay.
so I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah,
Excellent.
whoever is convenient for the police department.
I think it will make it more proficient, and she has one person to go there, right?
Yeah, they'll know the history of these things too,
Right.
that way.
Yeah,
Will
so,
you let the captain know?
I will.
That that's been
Assign
approved by
him
the
that
board
task.
and that he's-
Oh, and thank him for his service.
And then too, if there's ever any training on it, you could
right, yep,
And I'll let Heather know.
wonderful.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. She did ask me 2 weeks ago to bring that up, and I forgot. Seriously, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Heather. Okay, before we go to Selectmen's reports, Tim has given us a report on the request on the loader, and what we need to do is, the $35,000, which we signed going down, to take it out of, we have to take it out of the fund and put it into the capital reserve, and then we have to take it out of the capital reserve to pay the loader for the Caterpillar. So I would like to make a motion that we instruct the Town of Tilton trustees on or after September 10th, 2014, to withdraw the total available balance of the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund, estimated at the time of withdrawal to be just over $105,000, for the purpose of paying for the new Caterpillar loader.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, and on the back here is the authorization to take $35,000 to deposit it into the Highway Capital Reserve Fund, okay? So that's right here.
In that case, I'll sign the check, or sign the manifest.
We signed the manifest, but you need to
Well,
sign
no, I
this.
didn't, because I was waiting for an official
that?
vote. Because they wouldn't have money before the vote, technically.
Joe,
What is that?
you signed it.
That's for the welfare department, isn't it?
No,
What is it?
for the loader.
That's to move the $35,000. Yeah, I didn't sign for where he dispersed the check. That part I didn't
Okay.
do. I was waiting for the motion.
Okay, also, we have a letter going to the town clerk, tax collector, if he wants to read it. John?
What does it say?
Just read in a second.
All right, okay. It's not public knowledge, I take it.
It is. It's about coverage on
Yeah.
Thursday evenings. Remember we talked about
I
it last
remember
week?
that. Oh, yeah.
Anytime,
Anytime.
right, and we said we would have a letter.
Yep, yeah.
I think the last sentence in the first paragraph is that one. That's in the first. That's almost rude. It's suggesting otherwise.
I think starting out by saying this is not only, I think if you could word it a little bit differently, that says,
I don't think we need to say it at all.
About the safety?
no, common courtesy. Not only a common courtesy, but a safety as well. I think it could be,
Just leave out the first, just
Let's just go with the safety.
like the town employees, the town hall.
Regardless of what it is or isn't, it's a safety issue.
so
And
take out the not only a common courtesy, right. Just line out where she needs to take it out. And then
Not taking it out?
before we get it, let's pass it down to them. Let's pass it around so that the others can see
I
it.
think that in the second paragraph.
I
it
don't
talks
disagree
about-
necessarily, but-
We're not, I don't see any here where we're saying, ahead of time. Town policy agreement number 2 applies on. Yeah, there's no time constraint here, so in other words, if she's planning a vacation, we should know about it how far in advance. So,
Well, her mind would be a day.
by the by, I'm leaving tomorrow for 3 weeks.
Simple things like.
Just to let you know.
oh, I know, and I think that should be included, but while we're writing
Because
this,
she does submit PTO requests for vacations.
okay, but, example,
Why would she do that?
it's usually mostly problem on Thursday, if we're not meeting.
No, it's the basic things of lunches.
Well, because
In the
there's,
late afternoons, if there is, I have an appointment somewhere, or somebody has an appointment somewhere, we can't make appointments in the afternoon.
okay, but the other issue is, if you eliminate that office, look at the rest of the office, we should never have everybody going at the same time. There should always be at least one person in one of the other departments. So that would mean it's a non-issue. Because if she always has her office open with one person in it, and we always have at least one of our departments open with one person in it, that's a minimum of 2 employees in town hall.
But that's only during the week. At 4:15 on Thursdays, if there's no meeting up here, and there's only one person in her office, and everybody else has plans, and
Or say.
she decides to leave.
They
Not an
told me
uncommon thing either.
Everybody leaves at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
saying.
In the town clerk's
Other
office.
people have appointments and things
But
that
that's
they need
fine, but what I'm saying,
to, which we do,
and that's fine, but,
amongst ourselves.
so, does everyone have appointments other than that front office, the town clerk's office?
All at
You mean to
once.
tell me everybody has an appointment all at once, that we allow this?
No, but I mean, Tim may have to go down to the police station to respond to something, or he may have come in early to work in the morning on a police thing, and he had to leave early, or Catherine's on a paid time off day, or Dari leaves at 1:30, especially Fridays. Fridays are the big days. The only
Because, for example, what happens when
I see that letter.
that office is closed and they've both gone to a conference?
I'm gonna read it out.
So, are you telling me there's an opportunity that the rest of town hall, there might not be anybody here?
After 4:15 on a Friday.
No, she's
Thursday.
not talking about after 4:15, she's talking about during the day.
Come up with us, we always
That's
make
what Joyce is
arrangements
talking
with the
about.
selectmen. If there ever is something where we both have to be gone, or everyone's on, it happened once since I've been here, where all 3 of us were gone on the same day, that we make arrangements with the selectmen.
When you're gone when all 3 of you are gone during the day, I've come in and replaced them, and Sandy Plessner used to come in and replace for the day to be here, so someone is here all the time from the selectman's office. But what Catherine is asking, and I agree with her, because you're not talking about lunch hours when being notified if someone's going out for a lunch hour, because there's 2 people.
See this?
One has a lunch at 1, one has a lunch at noon.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine for them, yes.
But-
It's when one of them's not there.
So if one of them's not there and one takes a lunch, there's got to be somebody else here in town hall.
There's
They
gotta be
put a
two-
sign up saying, gone to lunch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When they're not there. And then there's got to be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 downstairs and 1 up here. 5.
We don't count.
Yeah, because we're up here, we're not down there seeing what's going on if somebody
So-
comes in. So what Pat is saying, so, for example, yesterday, when the clerk wasn't here and only the deputy, and the deputy took her lunch, so you don't have that one person coverage. So 2 people from the rest of town hall would have to be here during that hour.
Right, and we make arrangements for that.
And we all know when Cindy's not here that the deputy takes lunch at 1 o'clock. We know that. We all know that.
Does the deputy always take lunch at 1?
Yes.
Okay.
That's when she was told to take lunch when Cindy's not here.
What about when
'Cause that's
Cindy's here?
When Cindy's here, it changes. It's either Cindy takes
That
it,
can be the problem.
no, either Cindy takes 12 or,
When that's an issue, I move my lunch up so I can be back before 1:30.
But what if Cindy
That's when I
decided
know
that...
she's not in, it's like, okay, and I'll pop in, okay, so we all set for lunch? Okay, I'll go from 11:30 to
Oh, wait,
12:30.
we can't ask them to do something that we're not willing to do ourselves in the selectman's office. I mean, we have 4 people that we need 5, counting Al, to be within, striking distance of lunch hours that can work together and be there. If one of them was not in that day and the other one had to take lunch for that half hour, there's got to be somebody else in the building that is going to be here. How often does it happen? I can't even imagine it happening.
Well, it only has to happen once.
I'd say the most difficult day would be Friday. Fridays. But, I mean, that's not just them, that's because there's no staff. But what was the point that...
Then we won't allow
What
more
were
than
you-
3 staff out on Fridays.
So what did you see as the solution then?
Isn't this more about the 415 issue?
There has to be more
More than any other
communication
thing.
between what happens as far as absences, whether it's an hour here or an afternoon or a morning, in your office. There has to be. It's always been an issue.
Within the selectman's office, it has not been an issue.
No.
Do you agree, Catherine? Yes. Okay.
It's between that department and
Yes,
this.
yes.
If we're going to make certain that we have enough coverage for the 2 people minimum, there has to be more communication
Yes,
between that department and this.
yes. So
If
how
somebody-
would you like to say that?
If somebody has to leave from that department for an event, and for some reason their intention is to return, but that changes, that needs to be communicated back. Because the clerk has to understand that if, for whatever reason, let's say that takes place again, the selectmen will close town hall because we will not have any employee of the town in an unsafe situation.
Right.
And that has
Which
to
means
come,
her office will close.
All right, then what I suggest would be an appropriate way to handle it then, would be, as a board, you talk with Cindy, elected officials to elected officials, and just say what you're saying now.
because I think we more than communicate with her than people are actually seeing. We tell her every time something happens, we're gonna be leaving the office, she up and leaves on a whim. Hey,
As
I'm not
is
gonna
her-
be here on
as-
Thursday after 4:15, and I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm just walking out the door. So there, she's left down there all by herself, no notification.
And
Well,
I've been
there's the
downstairs
problem.
all by myself.
So
There's 2 occasions recently, and I'm like, oh, I'm the only one here.
it's a one-way street. It's not a two-way street. It's a one-way street with this whole situation.
Okay.
We more than enough communicate with that lady to give her ample enough time to say, listen, I'm not gonna be here on this day. Hey, I'm leaving at 4:15 every Thursday, so we have to arrange something for somebody downstairs.
So is it safe to say that our coverage for, other than the clerk's office, there's always 2 people here?
Yes, I would say that's fair to say,
Okay.
except Friday.
Okay, well, I think that's what we have to strive for, is that, because it is an elected position and we don't have control, really, of those comings or goings, we really don't. We have to make certain that we have 2 people in the rest of the office at all times. And then I think the caveat here is for her to know, the clerk to know, that, and I'm repeating myself, town hall will close.
Because
If there's a situation where
There will be.
there's no coverage because, you know, Thursday is later than regular hours, and this is scheduled to close at 4:30, the selectmen have decided to take, what, the October
9th off.
9th off. So, if there's no coverage, if there aren't 2 people in her office, town hall will close.
And we are not going to spend taxpayers' money and resources to have a policeman down here to babysit.
No way.
Can I make a suggestion? Won't we put a magnet board somewhere in?
We have one.
Board.
And
There's a
you can't
board.
leave if it says that one.
We
You
have
can't tell
one.
her that.
She's an elected...
It's been in
You can't
effect
tell
for
her
3,
that.
it's been in
I
effect
have a
since I've been
thought.
there.
It would seem to me that we have no control over the hours of the town clerk tax collector's office. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay, so if somebody from the town clerk tax collector's office has set office hours until 5 or 5:30 or whatever on any given night, we're not required to cover that.
The Board of
We shouldn't
Selectmen
have to.
requested that the clerk stay open until 5:30 at the behest of taxpayers who couldn't get in here by 4:30 because work or whatever.
That was before my time.
That's right. But it was at the
Well,
request
that
of
was
the
a big
Board
thing
of
at the
Selectmen.
town meeting. That was one of the,
to have at least one night open.
So she agreed to it.
It
Originally
still
was
seems to me that she's responsible for covering it.
Two of them should
Well, her option is to have, she doesn't have to go until 5:30. We requested that because that's what the
Change
taxpayers
your hours
want.
then.
So her option is to say, okay, I'm closing at 4:30, and then
Upset the
it's-
town people.
Well, that's on her, that's not on
we're
us,
not gonna spend taxpayers' dollars to cover that time
that she's not there.
that taxpayers wanted us to have, then she'll close.
Wanted her to have, not us. That's her office. It's explained to me many times how it's her office,
And it is.
and it's her decision to do what she wants to do. So you know what?
Rightly so.
The onus is on her, not us.
It's a space that the Board of Selectmen
Correct.
Facts.
allow the clerk to use.
two separate
She can move that
things.
out of this building and put it
Well, I
anywhere
think-
she so desires.
Well, then,
Just have a
have at it.
one-on-one,
That works too.
ever come talk with you and just say, Cindy, just let us know if you're gonna be not coming back, or you're going somewhere, you're gone for the afternoon.
set up coverage
Yeah,
beforehand,
just make sure,
verify.
just check and make sure. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be here, or Tim will be here, but that one time, we may not be, and then,
Heaven forbid
So the magnet
something
board
happens.
doesn't have the town tax
You,
collector.
but you just write it in with a marker. It's dry erase.
It's in Catherine's office,
Yeah.
just
It's not
before
like
you
a
go
slide
into
thing,
Joyce's,
so everybody
it's on the
before they
left.
leave,
They
they,
just mark it
But
down.
Get paid time off, appointment.
but each day, if you leave, you get called out. Let's say, you get called out for some appointment or something at 10 o'clock in the morning. You put out,
no.
No, I check with Catherine or I check with Joyce.
This is for
We always
time
tell
off.
them, when one of us leaves the building,
Everybody knows.
always tell
Yeah.
who's ever there. Catherine's not there, they tell who's ever there. Me, Tim, and Catherine around, or who's ever there.
do you tell Cindy?
No.
Why not?
It's not our office.
She might,
It's not our office.
well, I think everybody
I do
needs
at
to work
lunch,
together.
at
And if
lunch.
you have a magnet board in and out, everybody will look down and say, hey, I'm only one left. I'm gonna be the only one left. Gotta work together. And
Well, that's what the
Cindy too,
problem is, though. But that's what
I
the
mean,
problem
if
is,
you
John.
don't- You don't wanna tell her,
There have been,
and we don't,
right, but there have been many
she doesn't wanna
nights.
tell you.
Right, but there have been many nights when they've looked up and said, oh, we're the only one left here. And, Kim's left alone, and all of a sudden, these folks have appointments, and if had they known about the times, they would have, made arrangements of some sort. And then we get the phone call, the last time, I had a doctor's appointment. I couldn't rush down to come and
I'm gonna correct you
I
on
would've
what
done
you
it.
said,
Yeah.
because we do tell her when we leave. I'll correct you on that. It's not that we don't want to, is that even when we do tell her, she doesn't return the favor.
Right.
So that's, you're wrong on that, so, and I'm not gonna sit here and argue and bicker over what she does, because it doesn't matter, because she's gonna do what she wants anyways.
Yes, she is.
So, it doesn't even matter.
I just suggest that we rewrite it now that you have more information. It's really not gonna make any difference, sitting in front of her and going over the information. To my knowledge, this is not the first time that we've sat in front of her. I'll be more than happy to sit in front of her and go over it. However, it's not,
Well, I can tell you her choice would be to close on Thursday night.
Well, then.
Then
That's her
okey-dokey.
privilege.
Yeah.
It is her privilege.
Okay,
That
well,
is-
that's rare that you don't meet on Thursday nights, so on a Thursday night, so you want to just keep it to Thursday nights.
No.
But she really would be nice if she'd just let us know.
it's not gonna be just to Thursday nights, because we already have an incident where I'm gonna come in because they have to be open for
Which I knew that.
the polls.
Say anything.
Well, she did.
Oh, she did, yeah, she called you, yeah.
Well, she only
emailed.
responded because you took the initiative to say to her,
Right.
oh, what are you
So-
going to do about coverage for that night?
Is it okay?
It's separate from us.
I have no problem being here.
All right, I think we
One
did
more
today.
question. Is it okay to have an employee by themselves down here while we were up here in a meeting?
Not to, I don't feel comfortable with it.
I don't.
So if
Should monitor
one
out
town,
Before we
We
know
used
it.
to monitor
Well, then maybe we should like turn it on or something if that's going to be helpful.
You know, a doorbell thing or...
But it's delayed.
Should be,
We have panic buttons.
So we're not going to be able to
You have to
run
keep
down there and
refreshing it.
help
Even if it's on
fight
here, you
off
have
his
to keep
attacker.
refreshing it.
I don't even know why we're talking about this.
Okay.
Oh my God, they just pushed my line up there.
I think we've beaten this topic to,
whatever.
It's only a problem when that one incident comes up, that's all.
all right.
Well, there's definitely a lack of communication.
So we need to improve the communication. How are we going to improve the communication? Do you want her to ask her to come in and meet with us, or would you like to send a letter? That's the question of the night right now, in front of us, and the only question.
Why doesn't everybody meet at the same time and discuss this?
That's your thought?
Everybody.
I vote letter.
I vote letter.
Weather.
Oh, that's 3. I just ignored the entire thing. She's a separate office from us, and we just lock the door if there's nobody in the building after 4:15.
We have to let her know that that's what our tent is going to be, though.
Well, then we send her that. So then a letter is in order.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We'll try again next week.
No, we're going to write the letter.
I know, but then-
Rewrite the letter. Okay. All right. Let's move right along here. Joe?
Actually, nothing's been happening. This is a slow time of year, what with the holiday and whatever in my world. I do have one question for the chief, and should have asked it while he was sitting here. I couldn't help but notice a $222 expense at one of our fine local Walmarts. Well, wait a minute, there's only one. For a camera and candy. Now, the camera, you might need a camera for any number of things, but why does the police department need candy?
I know they did it for the parades, and then
Yeah, we haven't had a parade in a while, and this is on the invoice now. Are you saying that this is from June, and it's just catching up? Absolutely. Because maybe that's it. Maybe because I'm not wearing my glasses. All I know is that there's a Walmart thing with candy. And if it's for the parade, okay. Hey, no, I'm with John on this one. Birthday cake. Well, this is the candy version of birthday cake. If it's for the parade, I mean, we buy candy.
I know they keep a bowl for when people come in the building.
So this is a bowl full
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, that's all. Because I can tell just by looking at it.
$22, yeah.
Yeah, last go on.
So the candy at the police department is old, folks, except for right now, so get on in there.
I know sometimes.
All right. Moving right along.
Well, I had a right to ask.
You did. You got it. You got an answer. All right. Al, you gave her, did everyone see Al's report?
It was just together.
Who's got Al's report? You took Al's report, did you?
I gave it back.
One back.
And I had, oh, there it is, no? I had all the rest of the accounts payable, but somebody took them.
All right, well,
Just took them away.
I'm moving right along, go ahead.
Everybody signed it but me.
Yep, you're signed on this. This one's all signed on...
Probably right in front of my face, and I'm just...
I just have one thing that I would like to, I know I talked with the folks in the beginning. Once again, I would like to thank Market Basket for continuing to keep our seniors and less advantage in mind when they're needing to disperse some dairy items. The senior center was very, very pleased to be the recipient of that today, and the Trip Center in Franklin. So thank you again, Market Basket. And that's all I have for... Catherine, you have anything? No. let's move on.
Anything you haven't said yet?
Well, last week I talked to you about the Stewart property and the parking. We're going to issue them temporary parking permit. I talked to Mike Gagney today, who manages those properties for Stewart, and he only had one tenant respond to his request for identification of the cars in order to get the temporary permits. So,
Anybody else who's parked there is subject to towing.
well, and that's what I told him. I said, well, if they don't get those, I can't guarantee they're not going to get towed.
At their
Because I don't
expense.
have any place that is overnight parking without a permit. So he's going to make another stab at it tomorrow, because paving is next week. And he's going to bring it directly to the PD just to expedite it when he gets them, so that you can issue those temporary permits. I just want to give you a heads up. And then he'll just email me the information, so I'll have it for the park. Minimum security prisoners from the New Hampshire State Prison System will be working in the park on Wednesday and Thursday.
Awesome.
And I think it's going to be awesome. It's absolutely free. And they're going to grade all of the dirt paths. They're going to do all the brickwork that right now is quite a tripping hazard, and they're going to clear a lot of...
There's one that's an ankle breaker over there.
It's awful. And Dennis I've been keeping him very updated, and he's come up with some great ideas. And we may be dumping some product in there for the paths on Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully there's no rain. He'll just back down and then dump it, and that's all I got.
John, do you have anything for us?
Well, we already went over a lot of the conservation stuff with the fence and the guardrails, so I won't go back there again. I just had a couple things I wanted to point out. The speed limit sign entering the Tilton, along the Tilton School wall there, right before the railroad tracks, is completely obscured by brush. So, and that probably is a sign that tells people to slow down from 35 to 30 or something. So, and also the brush, the sumac from that wall has grown over onto the sidewalk, so you have to, it won't be long, you'll be walking in the street to get around that, or you got to duck to get under it. So I don't know, I've brought up a few times.
Tilton School property.
How do we get that taken care of?
And Chief, you can talk with Fred and ask him to redo it.
Yeah, it's,
They haven't done it for about 3 years now.
Yeah, after they cut the trees and the brush, some of the wild stuff grew in, and it's just hanging over.
Yeah.
The other thing, Jason Stock was going to talk to the planning board. Has been postponed? Okay, because some of the Conservation Commission, selectmen might want to...
Yeah.
Was there been a date set?
No date set.
Sorry, if you
And, yeah, I spoke to him the other day, just Christine. And there was just one other thing. Do we get the repair fund for the trail all set up?
we're waiting for the letter.
Do we have the letter for the trail fund set up?
Yes,
Yeah,
downstairs.
okay.
The account's
So
all
it's,
set?
the account's all set up?
She's talking about the letter for the
Okay,
private
no.
purpose.
No, not yet.
I knew you didn't know what they were talking about.
Oh, yeah, it's downstairs.
All right, so can we work on getting that set up? Okay,
That's it.
all right.
Just one thing. Budget Committee, we're still looking for somebody, as far as I know, to be on the Budget Committee. Fill in, I think it's just the remainder of one term, 1 year. So anybody that'd be willing to get in touch with Johanna Ames and join everybody.
I don't know why.
Can we have Tim put something on the website, if he hasn't already?
He did, he has.
He's got
He's
something.
usually right on top of things.
I do have an observation. I've noticed that there are some of our town employees who have large amounts of paid time off accrued. We're now into the last quarter of the year, and take your time off. take your time off. Don't everybody want to go at once, because it won't work.
They can buy out some of that.
Some of it they can, but there's a lot of time off in some of
A
these.
lot of them do.
Right,
They bank it to buy off.
right.
No, I'm just saying,
No
Okay.
rolling over.
no, even without precedent.
Right, exactly. We nipped that in the bud last year. All right.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, personnel. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we're back. I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session because they pertain to personnel matters permanently.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aha!
You got me.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Well, Albert hesitated, and I'm looking,
Never had to go around.
and you missed another great meeting. Come on down next week.
Chief is.
The chief is?
Chief's going to talk to Fred Heath.